The earth and trees around them began to tremble. Hiding behind a rock with the mysterious woman, Yi Xian asked, "Does that woman also know about the Tao seed?" The mysterious woman replied, "I'm not sure, but she must have sensed the power of the earth." The rudimentary Tao seed power. Yi Xian grew more confused. What is rudimentary Tao seed power? The mysterious woman cut him off. Now is not the time. We need to catch her first. As they spoke, Zhou Baiyan's fight had ended. She was slowly approaching them. The mysterious woman observed her. She's quite skilled to survive against two of Zuixinless and hedging experts. Yi Xian followed her gaze. "Senior, what are you looking at?" "There's nothing there." "Let's rush her now." "Not so fast," a strange voice said from behind. "Your plan is a little too optimistic." A blade pressed against Yi Xian's neck. Yi Xian paled. "Senior." "What the?" This voice. He cautiously turned to see Zhou Baiyan. Yi Xian frantically looked around. "Senior, where are you?" "Don't abandon me." Zhou Baiyan pressed the blade harder. "Following me all this way, are you looking to die?" Yi Xian stammered, "What do you want?" Zhou Baiyan's words revealed her purpose. "Nothing much. Come with me to Ning country, and I'll spare you." Yi Xian noticed the bloodstains at Zhou Baiyan's feet. Her legs were clearly injured. An idea sparked. "I know I'm no match for you. But if I make a commotion, Zuixinless and hedging experts will come. In your state, you can handle them, can you?" Zhou Baiyan grew angry, then contemplative. Her anger subsided, replaced by calculation. "You're right, I'm not at my best. But dealing with you is easy. Within 50 meters, I can kill you without a trace. Want to challenge me?" "You're not ready," Yi Xian responded defiantly. "If so, then let's perish together." He summoned his spirit sword. Zhou Baiyan backed down, releasing him. "I underestimated your courage. What will it take for you to come quietly?" Yi Xian stated his conditions. "First, I live. Second, return my weapon. It belongs to a friend. Third, tell me where you experienced the earth power." Hearing earth power, Zhou Baiyan's expression changed. "How do you know I experienced earth power?" Yi Xian didn't elaborate. "It's irrelevant. Deal or no deal?" Zhou Baiyan considered. "Deal. Now follow me." Thus, Yi Xian journeyed with Zhou Baiyan towards Ning country. At the border, Yi Xian spoke, "We're here. Go by yourself." Zhou Baiyan refused. "The deal was to carry you into Ning country, not to the border." Carrying Zhou Baiyan on his back, Yi Xian panted. "You're not planning an ambush, are you? Going back on your word isn't wise." Zhou Baiyan blew air into his ear. "Don't worry, I won't kill or cripple you." And, she saw his sweat-covered face. "You're quite heavy. Here's something for your troubles." Before Yi Xian could refuse, Zhou Baiyan slipped an unknown pill into his mouth. Sensing something amiss, Yi Xian flung Zhou Baiyan off his back. "What did you give me?" Zhou Baiyan laughed seductively. "That's Ning country's famous everlasting pill. Keeps a man up all night." "Such a pity," she feigned concern. "Oh dear, I forgot. We're in the wilderness. Where would you find a woman?" "No women, but plenty of beasts," Yi Xian roared. "You despicable villain." Zhou Baiyan looked back. "I didn't kill or cripple you." Sensing danger, Yi Xian charged towards Zhou Baiyan. She taunted, "Go on, try. Idiot." With a swift movement, she vanished. The mysterious woman appeared, shouting, "I hate people like you the most." Zhou Baiyan sensed the presence behind her. Turning, she was met with the mysterious woman's fist. The mysterious woman then unleashed two beams of light, pinning Zhou Baiyan to the ground. The light sealed Zhou Baiyan's meridians, disabling her. The mysterious woman glanced at Yi Xian. "She drugged you. Take what you want." Yi Xian crawled towards Zhou Baiyan. Seeing his intent, Zhou Baiyan's expression shifted. "If you touch me, I'll curse you." Ignoring her threat, Yi Xian began to undress her. The next morning, sunlight fell on Yi Xian's face. He opened his eyes and turned. He saw Zhou Baiyan. "Oh no, what have I done?" He remembered everything. The mysterious woman appeared. Yi Xian asked, "Senior, why didn't you?" The mysterious woman shrugged. "How could I stop you from getting rid of the poison?" Yi Xian asked wryly, "What do I do now?" The mysterious woman replied, "You got what you wanted. What more do you want?" "Kill her, and let's go." "Kill her?" Yi Xian hesitated. The mysterious woman was displeased. "What else?" "She's strong. If you don't kill her, she'll kill you later. Don't count on me. Last time took a lot out of me, and this time even more. I can last one day before I fall into a deep sleep." We must get that Tao seed within that day. Yi Xian's face grew serious. Senior, why didn't you tell me sooner? The mysterious woman chuckled. What could you have done? Yi Xian clenched his fist. At least I wouldn't have drained your energy. I would have handled it myself. Satisfied with his response, the mysterious woman said, I know you mean well, but I have my reasons. Look, you don't want to kill her, your first woman. What do you want to do? Glancing at Zhou Baiyan, Yi Xian nodded. Thanks, senior. He looked back at Zhou Baiyan, who was now awake. Yi Xian felt awkward. You heard all that, right? Zhou Baiyan glared at him. You better kill me, or it'll make you wish you were dead. Yi Xian changed the subject. Tell me where you experienced earth power, and return my weapon. Zhou Baiyan scoffed. You humiliated me and still want something from me. Dream on, and do I have anything hidden on me? Shouldn't you know best? Now it was Yi Xian's turn to be embarrassed. Forget it. That's my friend's weapon. Give it back, the mysterious woman said, grabbing Yi Xian and pulling him away. Let's go. No point talking to her. It's not on her. Yi Xian was confused. How do you know? The mysterious woman explained, I searched her last night. Let's return to Two Realms City. I think I know where the earth power is. Yi Xian was surprised. The Tao seed is in Two Realms City. The mysterious woman nodded. If I'm not mistaken, it's in. Free from her restraints, Zhou Baiyan's expression darkened. Lightning crackled around her. The trees within several hundred meters instantly disintegrated. She raged, Yi Xian, I will make you die a horrible death. Back in Two Realms City, Yi Xian and the mysterious woman reached a certain location. Senior, she didn't say where she sensed the earth power. How do we know where to look? Yi Xian nodded and quickened his pace. After a while, Yi Xian commented, it's getting hotter. Senior, you hot? The mysterious woman, illuminating the path with a flame in her hand, replied, it's fine. Keep moving. They continued until they reached a deep cave. They stopped. Yi Xian looked inside. Senior, what now? The mysterious woman replied, use your sword to protect yourself. Let's go down. Yi Xian nodded. After about an hour, they stopped. Before them was a lava lake. Yi Xian was about to speak when he noticed something floating in the center of the lake, a yellowish-brown object. Upon closer inspection, he realized it was a lump of earth, floating amidst the lava. The lava flowed around it, never touching it. Yi Xian asked, is this the Tao seed? The mysterious woman answered, it's the earth Tao seed. If you can subdue it, you'll have an endless supply of earth power as long as you're on the ground. Yi Xian continued, and the second floor of the introduction tower. Does it depend on this? The mysterious woman replied, I'm not sure yet. But with this, you can control the first floor completely. You can store things there and even use it defensively. Yi Xian was ecstatic. This is great. Tell me, how do I subdue it? The mysterious woman cautioned, don't get too excited. It's weakened, but it will resist. Subduing it will be painful. Yi Xian nodded. A little pain is fine. I can handle it. The mysterious woman said, good. Now, focus and follow my instructions. Slowly try to connect with it. Okay, you'll bring it out. Yi Xian closed his eyes and concentrated. After a while, he opened them. A small, illusory tower appeared above them. With a boom, the surrounding rock walls vanished. The earthen lump pulsed, then shot towards Yi Xian's forehead, entering his body. A searing pain erupted in Yi Xian's head, and his eyes filled with blood. His body trembled violently as waves of intense heat washed over him. Senior, this isn't a little pain. This is agonizing. The mysterious woman yelled, endure. If you can't, then I overestimated you. He suddenly vanished. At the same time, a wave of earthen yellow energy enveloped his body. Yi Xian's body flickered, and in an instant, countless earthen yellow energy spheres continuously converged towards him, flowing upwards from his feet. With the influx of these energies, his originally mangled body miraculously began to heal. Clearly, the Tao artifact was helping him recover. Despite the Tao artifact's aid, the intense pain that racked his body still made Yi Xian grimace. After about an hour, the mangled skin on Yi Xian's body had completely healed. Moreover, his skin now had a faint golden hue. Yi Xian slowly opened his eyes. He glanced at his body, then his pupils constricted. Countless golden energies suddenly appeared around him, forming a golden armor that looked incredibly dazzling. Yi Xian was stunned. The mysterious woman was also somewhat surprised. She explained, this is the earth armor, condensed from the power of the earth. as long as your feet are on the ground. You can condense this armor and gain the power of the earth. However, at your current realm, you can only maintain it for half an hour. After half an hour, if you don't relinquish the earth's power and the earth armor, you will suffer repercussions. Yi Xian blinked, then asked, Senior, does this Tao artifact now belong to me? The mysterious woman chuckled. In your dreams. To truly subdue a Tao artifact, you must constantly cultivate and comprehend its essence. When your power is sufficient, you can fully utilize the Tao artifact's power. Now, you can only borrow an insignificant fraction of its power. An insignificant fraction of its power. However, this bit of power is enough for you to leap 2 realms and instantly kill a spirit void realm expert. Try throwing a punch. Yi Xian's expression turned serious. He hesitated, then said, leaping 2 realms. Isn't that too dangerous? Don't be afraid. Saying that, Yi Xian clenched his fist and slammed it into the ground. Upon impact, the ground within a radius of 30 feet around Yi Xian shattered, and countless cracks and debris spread outwards. Yi Xian looked at his right hand, his eyes filled with excitement. Such incredible power. This is the power of the earth. Now can I go look for a woman? He turned to the mysterious woman. Senior, did you see? My power has changed completely. At this moment, the mysterious woman disappeared again. Yi Xian was taken aback. He shouted, Senior, where are you going? Was my power too strong and it scared you away? With your measly cultivation, you want to hurt me. Keep dreaming for another 800 years. I've consumed too much power recently and need to recuperate. You'll have to rely on yourself from now on. The mysterious woman's voice echoed. 2 hours later, within the military camp, Jiangju was staring blankly at the broken weapon fragments. At this time, Yi Xian walked in. Jiangju asked, You all right? Yi Xian shook his head. I'm fine, but your weapon I didn't manage to. I was in a daze. At this time, Yi Xian came in and asked Yi Xian if he was okay. Yi Xian shook his head and said, I'm fine. It's just your weapon. I didn't touch it. It's not your fault. It's the responsibility of the first auction house. Yi Xian looked at Jiangju. They should compensate you, right? Jiangju shook her head. Who knows? Just then, a voice came from outside the tent. Princess, someone from the first auction house requests an audience. Soon, Xu Qing walked into the tent. He approached Jiangju and bowed slightly. Princess, I'm here today regarding the Earth Grade Upper Rank Technique Scroll. Jiangju smiled. Oh? Has the first auction house retrieved the scroll? Xu Qing's expression was unnatural. He shook his head. Apologies, we haven't retrieved it. However, our first auction house has decided to compensate your highness with 1,000 gold coins. This statement shocked both Jiangju and Yi Xian. They both exclaimed, 1,000. Xu Qing's expression was stiff. 1,000 gold coins. That's the price set by my superiors. Of course, this may be unfair to your highness, but Thief instructed that in the future. Within the 2 realms mountains, our first auction house will offer more consideration to the princess. Hearing this, Jiangju grabbed Xu Qing by the throat. That Earth Grade Upper Rank Technique Scroll is worth 1,000,000 gold coins. And now you only offer 1,000. Does your first auction house think I, Jiangju, am easy to bully? Xu Qing, despite being choked, still managed to speak. Princess, I suggest you take what you can get. Even if we don't compensate you at all, what can you do? As he spoke, a silver needle appeared in his right hand, which he jabbed into Jiangju's shoulder. Jiangju lost her strength, her grip on Xu Qing loosened, and she stumbled backward. Yi Xian quickly caught Jiangju. Princess, I've been poisoned by his hidden weapon. I can't move. Xu Qing sneered. Consider this a lesson. Next time you offend the first auction house, it won't just be a silver needle. He turned to leave, but Xu Qing's eyes widened in shock as Yi Xian stabbed him through the chest from behind. You dare act so arrogantly in front of her. Xu Qing coughed up blood. The first auction house won't let you. With that, Yi Xian pulled out the blade. Xu Qing collapsed, lifeless. Yi Xian looked at Xu Qing's corpse. The scroll was stolen by someone from the Ning Kingdom. You can send someone to investigate there. Jiangju was anxious. Offending the first auction house will bring us endless trouble. Yi Xian turned to Jiangju. I killed him. You'll handle it. Jiangju shook her head. No. She pulled Yi Xian towards the exit of the tent. Go back to the capital. You'll deal with the aftermath. If the first auction house finds out you killed their man, you'll be in danger. Yi Xian hesitated. What about you? I can't just leave you here. I take responsibility for my actions. I'm not afraid of the first auction house. Jiangju glared at him. Are you crazy? You can't afford to provoke the first auction house. Go back to the capital. Just then, a black-robed figure appeared outside the tent. This person was none other than Zhu Luzhu, the 9th branch master of the first auction house. Zhu Luzhu announced. Princess, it seems you're in a hurry to. Jiangju glanced at the black-robed figure. This must be the newly appointed 9th branch master of the first auction house. It is I, Zhu Luzhu said. He glanced at the tent behind Jiangju. Xu Qing's soul jade shattered. I've come to investigate. Does the princess know anything about this? Jiangju met his gaze and stated firmly. I previously bid on an Earth-grade upper-rank technique scroll at the first auction house. It was stolen, but Xu Qing told me the first auction house refused to compensate and even threatened me. So, I killed him. Zhu Luzhu stared at Jiangju. Princess, regardless of the reason, you killed a member of the first auction house, and you must give us a satisfactory explanation. Otherwise, the Jiang Kingdom royal family will never buy anything from the first auction house again, including the talismans, weapons, and armor you need for war. Jiangju angrily questioned, 9th branch master, are you defying the royal family? Are you trying to start a war? Zhu Luzhu scoffed. Let me tell you, even if the royal family wasn't the Jiang family, the first auction house would still be the first auction house of the Jiang Kingdom. And we've never been afraid of the Jiang royal family. Jiangju was about to explode with rage. Suddenly, Yi Xian stepped forward, shielding Jiangju. I killed Xu Qing. If you have any issues, come to me. But before that, take a look at this. He took out a purple card and presented it to Zhu Luzhu. Upon seeing the card, Zhu Luzhu's expression changed drastically. A purple card. In the first auction house. This was second only to a black card. Even he, the 9th branch master, wasn't qualified to issue such a card. At least a 5th branch master or above had that authority. Zhu Luzhu looked at Yi Xian with a deep gaze. May I ask your esteemed name? Yi Xian simply said, 9th branch master, I want to see your 3rd branch master. Now. Inform him immediately. Zhu Luzhu asked again, who exactly are you? Why do you have this card? Yi Xian waved his hand dismissively. You're not qualified to ask. Just go get the 3rd branch master. Outside, the moon had already risen, high in the sky. Inside the tent, Yi Xian sat calmly while Zhu Luzhu hesitated. 9th branch master, are you doubting the authenticity of my card? Zhu Luzhu broke out in a cold sweat. No, of course not. Please wait a moment. He crushed a black communication talisman. 3rd branch master, please come to the princess tent. There's a young man here with a purple card who wishes to see you. Seeing Zhu Luzhu send a message, Yi Xian inwardly relaxed. Despite his calm exterior, he had been nervous. Upon receiving the message, the 3rd branch master quickly arrived at the tent. He smiled at Yi Xian. Young friend, it's been a while. What can I do for you? Does it concern the first auction house? Yi Xian nodded. I previously entrusted Princess Jiangju to bid on an Earth-grade upper-rank technique scroll at the first auction house. However, there was an incident. And the scroll was stolen. Xu Qing told me I would only receive 1,000,000 gold coins in compensation and told me to be satisfied with that. I got angry and killed him. The 3rd branch master noticed Xu Qing's body on the ground. He inwardly groaned. 1,000,000 was no small sum. The 3rd branch master pondered for a moment before making a decision. Young friend, please don't be upset. This was our first auction house's fault. He turned to Zhu Luzhu. 9th branch master, why haven't you compensated young master Yi yet? Zhu Luzhu looked distressed. 3rd branch master, but it's 1,000,000. The 3rd branch master didn't want to waste time. He roared, no excuses. Pay him, pay him. Zhu Luzhu didn't dare hesitate any longer. He handed Yi Xian a golden card. This card contains 1,000,000 gold coins. Are you satisfied? Yi Xian took the card and said, thank you. The 3rd branch master said, you can withdraw the funds anywhere in Qingju, or at our first auction house. Is there anything else, young friend? If not, you'll take my leave. Yi Xian nodded slightly. Thank you, 3rd branch master. Farewell. After they left the tent, Zhu Luzhu immediately asked, 3rd branch master, why were you so respectful to that young man? Is there a powerful background behind him? The third branch master whispered, "Do you know how Han Luzhu and Ba Luzhu ended up?" Without waiting for a reply, he continued, "They offended that young man's master. With just one move, they were defeated. They couldn't even withstand a single blow. If you want to offend him, ask yourself if you can withstand the wrath of his master." Zhu Luzhu was stunned. That young man's master was so powerful. Inside the tent, Yi Xian was looking at the million gold coin card with a smile. I knew mentioning senior would suppress these people. Jiang Zhu looked at Yi Xian, puzzled. Why didn't I know you had a master who makes the first auction house tremble in fear? Introduce me sometime, and he'll brag about it too. Yi Xian handed the gold card to Jiang Zhu. Here? Jiang Zhu stared at the card, her smile fading. This is million gold coins. You're giving it to me. Yi Xian simply said, it was yours to begin with. You need it for your army and to support your family. Jiang Zhu was deeply touched, but maintained a composed expression. A gift is a gift. You can take it back, Yi Xian said, take it. I might need your help in the future. Who knows? Jiang Jia's eyes lit up as she realized the situation was resolved. You're truly a good friend. She accepted the card. Oh, I have something for you. Wait a moment. She rummaged through a nearby chest. Yi Xian asked, you're not giving me another golden knife, are you? We're good friends, you don't need to keep giving me gifts. After a while, Jiang Zhu handed Yi Xian an ice blue box. Xiaoan told me about your sister's illness. This fire spirit pearl should help. Also, I've requested the emperor to send the best physician in the Jiang kingdom to the Kanglan Academy to treat your sister. You'll see when you get back. Yi Xian accepted the box gratefully. Thank you for helping Linga. You're welcome, Princess Yi Xian started, then corrected himself. Since we're friends, you don't have to call me princess. Just call me Jiang Zhu. Yi Xian looked surprised, then smiled. Okay, Xiao Zhu. Just then, a loud boom shook the ground, violently. Yi Xian and Jiang Jia's expressions changed drastically. What happened? A soldier rushed in. General. Report, there's a fire on the mountain. Yi Xian and Jiang Zhu rushed outside. A fiery red glow illuminated the sky above the Two Realms mountains. Jiang Zhu frowned. Thief broken through the Zuolin Pass. The war is about to begin. Yi Xian was puzzled. War? Jiang Zhu said seriously. Yes, war. With the barrier broken and the spirit energy restored, the Two Realms mountains will become a land of abundant resources. Many forces and clans from the mainland will come here. It will become a battleground, not just for the Jiang and Ning kingdoms, but also for other powerful nations. They won't let this place go. She turned to Yi Xian. Before the war breaks out, you should return to the capital. Yi Xian nodded. He didn't understand military matters and couldn't help much. Besides, he had been away for a while and it was time to go back. His priority was Linga's treatment. Yi Xian embraced Jiang Zhu. If you need anything, just let me know. He'll come back to help you. Jiang Zhu nodded. Be careful on your way back. Farewell. Yi Xian whispered, farewell. 2 hours later, Yi Xian boarded a cloud ship bound for the capital. Thanks to the purple card, he had a private cabin, a privilege, reserved for distinguished guests, and he could go to the VIP area. Reserved for distinguished guests. Reserved for distinguished guests. The year. Yi Xian began his cultivation journey, approaching closer. I might finally meet him. Yi Xian held the two spiritual artifacts, Ling Xiao and Ling Yu. After obtaining the power of the earth, my strength has increased significantly. If I can merge these two artifacts into one, you'll possess a renowned divine artifact. Then, you'll be even more powerful to protect Linga. Artifacts are categorized into mundane, spiritual, nascent, true, Tao, and unrefined artifacts. Spiritual artifacts possess a trace of spiritual essence, separating them from mundane objects. Nascent artifacts signify a further step, possessing a nascent spirituality. If spiritual artifacts are like embryos, nascent artifacts are like newly born spiritual foals. The essence is vastly different. Yi Xian combined the two swords. Suddenly, a soul-stirring wind flashed, reflecting in Yi Xian's astonished expression. The two swords had truly merged. Holding the luminous sword, Yi Xian felt its power. Mother Earth, it worked. Shenyang said it couldn't be done, but it worked. Absorb me. Yi Xian collected his thoughts. From now on, you'll call you Ling Xiao. Ling, from Yi Ling, and Xiao, from Shangnan Xiao. Imperial capital, Kanglan Academy. In front of the Kanglan Palace, Yi Lin sat on the ground, cradling a small doll, which was Yi Xian. Gazing intently, Yi Ling suddenly looked up towards the distant mountain. "Brother, I miss you so much." Just then, Ji Anji arrived beside Yi Lin and comforted her. "Don't worry, your brother will be back soon. It's raining, let's go inside. You've been sitting here for hours." "I'm not." Yi Lin shook her head, hungry. Suddenly, Yi Ling heard a faint voice from below. "Hey, you." Ji Anji looked up. On the steps below, a man stood with a dozen others. There, the man and the others wore the Sangmu Academy uniform. Ji Anji recognized the man guarding them. "Isn't that Fen Ju, one of Sangmu Academy's 2 strongest disciples?" Shock. Ji Anji's expression drastically changed. "Fen Ju? Why is he here?" Fen Ju glanced at Ji Anji and then at Yi Ling, hiding behind Ji Anji. "He's not here." Suddenly, Fen Ju punched Ji Anji in the stomach. "Since he's not here, we'll settle the score with you, so you knew." Ji Anji coughed up blood midair, before landing. Fen Ju's voice appeared behind him again. He kicked Ji Anji. Yi Ling watched in terror. Seeing Ji Anji cough up blood, she was even more worried. Fen Ju shouted, "While I was away, you Kanglan people killed my Sangmu disciples. Who gave you the right?" Ji Anji, on the ground, said to Yi Ling, "Linger, run." Fen Ju glared at Ji Anji. "You'll ask again. Where is Yi Xian?" Ji Anji cursed, "You'll never tell you, you bastard." Fen Ju lifted Ji Anji's head. "Since you want to die so badly, Illinois, grant your wish." He raised his foot to strike. Just then, Yi Lin hugged Fen Ju's leg. "Let him go," Fen Ju sneered, shoving Yi Lin away. "Little girl, if you don't want to die, get lost." Behind him, a Sangmu student pointed at Yi Lin. "Fen Ju, that's Yi Xian's sister. If she's here, he must be hiding nearby. Let her go." Fen Ju turned to Yi Lin, grabbed her shoulder, and lifted her up. Yi Lin cried, "Let me go. When my brother gets back, you're all dead." Fen Ju scoffed. "Oh really? I'd like to see how powerful your brother is." Ji Anji yelled anxiously, "Fen Ju, attacking a little girl is despicable. Aren't you afraid Sangmu Academy will become a laughingstock?" Fen Ju ignored him, holding Yi Lin. "Who dares laugh at Sangmu Academy? Tell Yi Xian to come to Sangmu Academy within an hour, or his sister will pay the price." Ji Anji glared at Fen Ju. "Bastard." The sky roared, with thunder and rain. Not long after Fen Ju left with Yi Lin, a figure raced up the mountain. It was Yi Xian. Laughing, he shouted, "Liner, I'm back." Reaching the summit, Yi Xian stopped. Ji Anji lay there, severely injured. Yi Xian rushed to him. "What happened? Where's Linger?" Ji Anji gasped. "They, Sangmu Academy took Linger." Hearing this, a sharp sword cry resonated from Yi Xian. He glared at Ji Anji. "Who took her?" Yi Xian's eyes blazed, with killing intent, shocking Ji Anji. "It was Fen Ju." "Calm down, he'll be back soon. Then, the 4 of you should go together. Hey, did you hear me? Fen Ju is one of Kangma's strongest. You'll die going alone." Yi Xian, consumed by rage, ignored Ji Anji and rushed out. Seeing this, Ji Anji's face paled. He knew trouble was brewing. Lightning flashed, the rain intensified. At the foot of Kang Mountain, Yi Lin was tied to a tree with black rope, her hands bound. She looked terrified. Before her stood Sangmu students, swords drawn. Yi Xian raced down the mountain. He reached the foot of Kang Mountain and saw Yi Lin. He froze. His mind went blank. Yi Lin saw Yi Xian. Tears streamed down her face. "Brother, run!" Rage exploded within Yi Xian. A student charged at him with his sword. Yi Xian's Lingxiu sword flashed. The student was bisected. The sword danced, a blur of deadly light. Everyone froze. "Monster! This guy is a student urged the others. "Attack together. Kill him." Avenged brothers were Li. Yi Xian swung the Lingxiu sword. A wave of sword energy ripped through the remaining Sangmu students, cutting them down. Just then, a middle-aged man appeared before Yi Xian. It was Li Xiu, one of Sangmu Academy's 3 vice deans. Li Xiu glared at Yi Xian. "You dare come to Sangmu and kill our students?" Yi Xian pointed at Li Xiu. "Where is Fen Ju? Bring him out." The surrounding people gasped. Fear spread. Yi Xian's killing intent intensified. So be it. Yi Xian swung the Lingxiu sword, a blinding arc of light heading towards Li Xiu. Li Xiu hastily erected a defensive barrier. Just then, a figure descended from the mountain path. He boomed, Feistin, why bother with this ant? Let me handle him. Yi Xian demanded, You Fen Ju. The one who attacked my friend and kidnapped my sister. Fen Ju sneered. Yes, and what of it? Today, not only will I kill you, but I will also. Enraged, Yi Xian interrupted, You'll pay with your life. He swung the Lingxiu sword, another blinding arc of light aimed at Fen Ju. Fen Ju, incredibly fast, dodged the attack. Not bad, but too slow. Fen Ju appeared before Yi Xian, launching a flurry of attacks. Yi Xian stomped the ground, leaped into the air, and swung his sword. A single, devastating strike. Fen Ju's face changed. He hadn't expected such power. If Yi Xian's previous attacks were not bad, this one was terrifying. As Yi Xian's sword descended, a blinding wave of energy erupted, crashing down. A thunderous boom echoed. Fen Ju was sent flying, crashing heavily into the ground. Yi Xian roared, That's what you get for hurting my sister. Yi Xian rushed to Yi Lin, his sword severing the ropes binding her. He held her close. Yi Ling sobbed in his arms. I'm sorry, I came too late. Yi Lin clung to Yi Xian. Brother, I was so scared. Yi Xian comforted her. It's all right, linger. Don't be afraid. In here. Just then, an old man appeared. Killed my Sangmu students and think you can just leave. Not so fast. It was Kumu, another of Kangma's Feistins. Yi Xian shielded Yi Ling, glaring at Kumu. What do you want? Kumu sneered. You killed on Sangmu grounds. Leave your lives here. A powerful aura emanated from him. Yi Xian's expression changed. Not good. He turned to Yi Ling. Suddenly, Kumu vanished. He reappeared beside Yi Lin. Let's start with your sister. He kicked at Yi Lin. Seeing Yi Ling in danger, Yi Xian shielded her with his body. Kumu's kick landed, sending Yi Xian flying, blood spraying from his mouth. Seeing Yi Xian injured, Yi Ling cried, Brother. Are you okay? You're bleeding. Yi Xian forced a smile. I'm fine, don't worry. Lightning flashed, rain poured. Kumu sneered. Touching, isn't it? Aren't you tough? Come on, fight me. He launched another attack. Suddenly, a figure appeared in the air, kicking Kumu away. Kumu crashed heavily into the distant mountains. The newcomer was none other than Ji Laoqiu, the dean of Kanglan Academy. He landed, removing a gourd from his waist, and took a sip. Kumu, a duel between academies. Yet you resort to bullying juniors. Shameful, isn't it? Kumu glared at Ji Laoqiu. Aren't you supposed to be in seclusion? Ji Laoqiu smirked. And if I am? It's because of fools like you I can't stay in seclusion. Submit to me, or die. Kumu's face paled. He yelled to his men, Get the ding. Hurry. Ji Laoqiu walked over to Yi Xian. Lad, you all right? Yi Xian simply replied, Fine. Ji Laoqiu sensed Yi Xian's displeasure. Good. Let's go, home. Yi Xian stood and looked at Yi Ling. Linger, need me to carry you? Yi Ling shook her head. No, brother, I can walk. Ji Laoqiu was speechless. You're covered in injuries. Both internal and external. Focus on yourself. He offered to carry Yi Ling, but she refused. Just then, a voice called out, Leaving so soon, Ji. Haven't even had a drink yet. Ji Laoqiu turned, his expression changing. The newcomer was Li Xuanchang, dean of Sangmu Academy. Beside him was Bei Chen, also from Sangmu Academy. The surrounding people bowed to Li Xuanchang. Yu Guchang, also known as Old Man Ji, looked back at him. Invite me for tea. I think your true intention isn't the tea. Yi Xian looked at the man, realizing he was the Yu Chang of Sangmu Academy. His cultivation level seemed to be at the divine harmony realm. Li Xuanchang glanced at the burning corpse in the distance. Not at all, I'm always reasonable. Suddenly, Old Man Ji looked at Yi Xian and Qi Yi. But this time, your precious disciple must die. Old Man Ji wiped the rainwater off his face. As long as these old bones are still here, you can forget about touching him. He then took a swig of wine from his flask, and tucked it back into his belt. So, how do we settle this? Your entire Sangmu Academy against the two of us. or 1 year known. Li Zunchang's face darkened. Without further ado, he looked at Old Man Ji and said, 1 year known. If I lose, you can leave. If I win, you leave your precious disciple. Just as the fight was about to erupt, a grey-robed elder grabbed Li Zunchang's shoulder. Stop. This is a matter for the younger generation. What are you two old geezers fighting for? The grey-robed elder was Jiang Yutian, the previous ruler of Jiang country, and one of the 4 Grand Dharma realm experts of Jiang country. Yi Xian was shocked. This was the former king, Old Man Ji's old friend. Old Man Ji bowed slightly. You old fellow, why aren't you dealing with Tang country? What are you doing here meddling in other people's business? Jiang Yutian smiled wryly. 2 Grand Dharma realm experts fighting. If I don't intervene, do you expect this place to remain intact? He glanced at Li Xuanchang. Xuanchang, things have escalated. I can't just stand by. How about this? Let me mediate. Let's end this here. Li Xuanchang sneered. End it here. What about my men who were injured? Jiang Yutian patted Li Zunchang's hand. Xuanchang, Jiang country is already facing external threats from Tang country. We can't afford another internal conflict. Besides, old Ji, don't you know him? He has nothing to lose. Hell dragged Sangmu Academy down with him if he has to. You shouldn't bother with him. You're expected to become a candidate for the head of Sangmu Academy headquarters. If Sangmu Academy is ruined because of this, do you think you still have a chance? Li Zunchang's expression changed. No one can stop my path to becoming headmaster. At this moment, Old Man Ji waved his hand. Enough. Are we fighting or not? We don't have all day, eh? Li Xuanchang, after a period of contemplation, finally made up his mind. Take your disciple back and discipline him properly. Next time he acts up, I won't hesitate to kill him. Don't blame Sangmu Academy for being ruthless. Yi Xian, hearing this, was furious. He raised his sword. You're twisting the facts. It was clearly Sangmu Academy who started it. Discipline them. Old Man Ji pulled down Yi Xian's sword and replied to Li Xuanchang, I'll manage my people. You manage yours. Don't let me see them in Kanglan Academy again. Otherwise, Illinois, deal with them personally. After saying that, he pulled Yi Xian away. Jiang Yutian laughed heartily. Old Ji hasn't changed a bit over the years. Still as fiery as ever. Li Zunchang's face was gloomy. Fiery. He's just senile. At night, under the bright moon, back at Kanglan Academy, everyone was eating and discussing the night's events. That damned Sangmu Academy. This time it was Linga, next time who knows who they'll target. We need to teach them a lesson. They think we're pushovers. Mo Yunqi cursed angrily. If Bai Ji and I were there, we wouldn't have let that happen. Bai Zi declared. Next time, you have to take me. Yi Xian agreed. The 3 of us together, let them know how strong Kanglan Academy is. Strong, my ass. Old Man Ji slammed his chopsticks on Yi Xian's head. If I hadn't arrived, you'd be dead already. Yi Xian protested. Linga was kidnapped. What else could I do but fight? Old Man Ji drank from his flask. Sometimes, you can't just rely on brute force, especially not to prove your strength. So you're saying I'm brainless. Just say it, I'm not afraid of embarrassment. Even if it happens again, you'll do the same. I won't let anyone hurt Linga. Yi Linga was moved to tears and hugged Yi Xian tightly. Mo Yunqi and Bai Zi envied Yi Xian's courage and loyalty. After a while, Old Man Ji looked seriously at Yi Xian. Sangmu Academy has issued a kill order against you. There are Sangmu Academy branches in Qingju. You're now facing danger from all branches. Are you confident you can handle them, eh? Even if I lack the strength and confidence, I have the courage to fight to the death to protect those I care about. Mo Yunqi and Bai Zi were deeply moved by Yi Xian's words. Old Man Ji threw his straw sandal at Mo Yunqi and Bai Zi. Courage is useless against true strength. Don't throw your lives away and don't underestimate Sangmu Academy's elite disciples. Especially those from the main academy. Any one of them could crush you. Mo Yunqi picked up the sandal. If they can recruit from other branches, why can't we? Are we just supposed to watch our own disciples get bullied? Old Man Ji shook his head. Our Kanglan Academy headquarters is located in Middle-earth Divine Continent. There are branches in Kanglan province alone. But we're the weakest of all Kanglan academies. They look down on us, they don't even want to acknowledge our existence. Yi Xian and the others were stunned. We're the weakest. Mo Yunqi was indignant. Old man G, didn't you say I'd be recruited by headquarters and become a phoenix? Old man G feigned innocence. Did I say that? I don't think so. He then ignored the fuming Mo Yunqi and Bai Zi. Mo Yunqi, Bai Zi, go train. Yi Xian, come with me. Mo Yunqi and Bai Zi were disgruntled. Old man G, why are you giving Yi Xian special treatment? Old man G turned to Mo Yunqi. Go fight the entire Sangmu Academy alone, and he'll give you special treatment too. Mo Yunqi immediately backed down. No thanks, I don't like special treatment. Yi Xian followed Old Man Ji to a small hill. It was the same hill Yi Xian failed to destroy before. Old Man Ji asked, do you know what you lack the most? Yi Xian thought for a moment. Money. Old Man Ji nearly choked. He slapped Yi Xian on the head. Money. I dragged you out here at night to talk about money. Do I look like I care about money? Yi Xian rubbed his head, feeling wronged. You lack momentum. An invincible aura and confidence that can suppress your enemies. Take this hill, for example. You need to treat it like garbage, something you can destroy at any moment. Yi Xian was confused. But it's not garbage isn't, that's a bit disrespectful. Old Man Ji's face twitched. Ji, if you think of it as garbage, then it is garbage. Just like when you face an enemy, if you treat them like garbage, it will subconsciously boost your own aura. Yi Xian pondered this for a moment. I don't quite understand. I think when facing an enemy, you should first understand and acknowledge their strength, and then assess your own chances of victory. Confidence is no substitute for realistic assessment. Old Man Ji was surprised. Unexpectedly, Yi Xian has some sense. Yi Xian looked at Old Man Ji. Am I right? Old Man Ji kicked Yi Xian's backside. Knowing this, you still challenged Sangmu Academy. Where did you get your confidence? Yi Xian scratched his head. I wasn't confident. I was just resolved to fight to the death for Linga. Old Man Ji took a sip of wine. Since you lack confidence, find it here. Don't go back to sleep until you do. Oh, and you can refer to Enlancio. Yi Xian was puzzled. Seriously. What can I learn from Enlancio by looking at this hill? He remembered Enlancio carving characters in the air. Yi Xian stroked his chin. She's confident because she's truly strong. My strength is limited. How can I compare to her? The mysterious woman's voice suddenly appeared. You don't need to worry about that. That old man is right to guide you to find your aura and confidence. It will make you stronger. But nothing is more important than understanding your own resolve. Yi Xian was confused. Senior, aren't you recuperating? The mysterious woman replied, don't be surprised. This is just a projection of mine. Yi Xian, don't overthink it. As long as you understand why you draw your sword, and the meaning behind drawing your sword, that's enough. Yi Xian seemed to grasp something. Why do I draw my sword? The meaning behind drawing my sword. He looked at the sword in his hand, the Lingxiu sword, and muttered, I see. Yi Xian looked at the Lingxiu sword in his hand. I draw my sword to protect Linga, to prove that I am not weak. As he said this, he swung the Lingxiu sword, the blade aimed directly at the small hill, cleaving it in two. A loud boom echoed as the hill crumbled. The mysterious woman smiled. Every sword stroke you make from now on must carry this conviction. This is your strength. Yi Xian bowed to the mysterious woman. I understand. A few days later, at the foot of Wang Yuan's snowy mountain, Yi Lin was gathering herbs in the forest. I wish I could find some matsutake mushrooms. Then I could make some chicken soup for my brother. Suddenly, the mysterious little girl appeared behind Yi Lin. Your brother almost died because of you. Yi Lin turned and recognized the girl who had given her the Tianhua warm jade. It's you. Why are you here? The little girl rubbed Yi Lin's cheek. I came specifically for you. I heard about your brother's fight with Sangmu Academy. He almost died for you, and you almost died for him. So I've decided to take you to Beihanzong. Yi Lin was confused. Beihanzong. What is that place? The little girl stood up straight, hands behind her back. It's my home. There, you can become independent, strong, capable of protecting yourself. You don't want to be a burden to your brother forever, do you? Yi Lin wondered, why do you want to take me to Beihanzong? The little girl explained, because you have a special Hanling physique. If you come with me, Beihanzong will devote all its resources to train you. To make you even stronger than Enlancio. Yi Lin's eyes widened. Can I really become stronger than Enlancio? After a moment of consideration, she nodded. All right. If you can make me strong enough to protect my brother, go with you. The little girl beamed. Don't worry, making you strong is my mission. Can we go now? Yi Lin shook her head. I want to stay with my brother for a little longer. The little girl was disappointed but nodded. All right. Seeing the little girl's sadness, Yi Lin quickly comforted her. Don't worry, I'll keep my promise. The little girl nodded and then bid farewell to Yi Lin. Under the bright sun, 3 disciples from Sangmu Academy of Tang Country, led by an old farmer, arrived at the gates of Kanglan Academy. The man in the middle looked at the dilapidated scene and couldn't help but sigh. No wonder the main academy abandoned them. The man on the left scoffed. Let's see what kind of talent this dump can produce. The man on the right was even more contemptuous. He spat at the gate, a place like this producing a sword cultivator. Dream on. Just then, Yi Lin, the little girl who had been gathering herbs, returned. She looked at the 3 strangers and asked, Who are you looking for? The 3 turned and saw just a little girl and immediately looked down on her. Xinsheng was frightened. Previously, at the earthen platform, the younger brother of the man placed a knife on Yelin's neck. Little sister Yi. Yeling looked at the 3 Sangmu Academy students, then turned toward the mountain and shouted, People of Sangmu Academy, you've come again. Just then, a man flashed down from the mountain. It was Yixuan. Yexuan's speed was incredible. In the blink of an eye, he had arrived at the foot of the mountain. Brother Wu. I'm sorry, I said, anyone from Sangmu Academy, kill on sight. You seem to have ignored my words. Seeing Yixuan, a sneer appeared on the corner of the mouth of the man leading the 3 Sangmu Academy students. He stepped forward. So you're Yixuan. I'm a student from the Tang Country branch of Sangmu Academy. Before he could finish, Yexuan's sword moved. A flash of sword light crossed the scene, and the speaking man's head suddenly fell from his neck. The remaining 2, seeing this scene, were terrified. Yixuan pointed Lingxiu's sword at the 2. You too. Seeing that Yixuan was indeed a sword cultivator, the 2 resolved to fight Yixuan to the death. Before their knives left their sheaths, Yexuan's attack arrived. A direct sword strike broke their bones. Yixuan went to his sister. Linger, go home and cook. Yeling nodded, and the 2 left directly, not even looking at the corpses behind them. The news about Sangmu Academy reached the Azure Heaven Hall. Inside, Lixuan Chang sat in the main seat, with 2 rows of elders below him. The 3 bodies of the Tang branch students caused their hearts to tremble. All 3 were at the spirit void realm, yet none of them could withstand a single blow from Yixuan. What do you think? After a long silence, an elder stood up. This man's strength is probably second only to Nguosha. I suggest notifying those students coming from other branches not to challenge this person rashly. Hearing this, Lixuan Chang cursed angrily. Nonsense. Let them continue to challenge Yixuan. The more people he kills, the more enemies he makes. 72 branches of Sangmu Academy in Qingju. Let him offend them all. Borrow a knife to kill someone. The elders in the hall understood Lixuan Chang's intentions. Lixuan Chang continued, for Sangmu, Yixuan must die. He must. Scene change. Inside the academy's main hall, old Ji sat on a chair, drinking wine and fishing, looking very comfortable. At this time, Yixuan walked over. Old Ji, I want to. Looking at Yexuan's determined expression, old Ji replied casually, charge. Want to charge? Go ahead. It's not about charging, Yixuan smiled wryly. It's like this, my physique is special. To advance to the spirit void realm, I need spirit stones. I know our Kanglan is poor. But I still want to buy spirit stones. Could you? Before Yixuan finished, old Ji's snores were already echoing. Yixuan was a little anxious. Hey, old Ji. Don't sleep, wake up. Just then, Ji Anji's voice came. Stop shouting, he'll help you. Yixuan was a little surprised. You have spirit stones. Ji Anji only replied with one sentence. Protect your life. Ji Anji took Yixuan to a small shop. Yixuan looked up. 2 large characters hung above the shop. Divine shop. Ji Anji whispered, this was once the holy land of Kanglan Academy. The 9 divine pillars represent the 9 inheritances of the Central Divine State's main academy. Every year, strong individuals gain enlightenment from these 9 divine pillars. Yixuan was puzzled. A holy land. Are there spirit stones here? Ji Anji turned his head. Also, Yixuan, can you not interrupt me? Yixuan. I assent the issue whether or not to interrupt you. I found that there are no spirit stones here. Jiangji was so angry he wanted to draw his sword. Seeing the burning rage, Yishuan quickly apologized and promised, "You continue, I won't interrupt." Jiangji walked to a pillar and struck. The pillar shattered, and many large green crystals appeared. Now on the ground, Yishuan was a little stunned. "What are these?" Jiangji sheathed his sword. "Top-grade spirit stones, from the 9 inheritance pillars. Each one should fetch a good price. They are our most valuable assets now. Sell them to exchange for spirit stones." Yishuan was a little reluctant. "Jiangji, selling such precious things isn't that a waste," he added. Jiangji put away the spirit stones and turned to Yishuan. "If you don't want them, we'll give them to Mo Yunqi." Hearing this, Yishuan immediately grabbed the spirit stones. "No way. These are mine. Nobody touches them." Jiangji chuckled. "Look at you, still pretending in front of me. Drop the act." With the stones, Yishuan rushed to the first auction house. After showing his purple card, he was immediately ushered into a luxurious private room. The person who received him was an old man. Yishuan took out a small mountain of spirit stones. "Esteemed sir, look at these spirit stones. How much are they worth?" The old man picked up a spirit stone and stroked his beard. "Top-grade spirit stones, about gold coins each. Yours can be sold for 5 million. Yishuan asked, "How much does an average spirit stone cost?" The old man glanced at Yishuan. "Ordinary ones start at 3 million, and the price fluctuates." Hearing this, Yishuan smiled wryly. "Then I can't afford it." Seeing Yexuan's distress, the old man said, "You'll see what I can do. Please wait a moment, young Master Yi." Yishuan nodded. After the old man left, Yishuan looked out the window, his heart filled with disappointment. Suddenly, he saw a little girl on the street trying to throw a small wooden bird. She looked weak and struggled to throw it. It was a poisonwood bird. Just then, the old man returned with 2 boxes. "Young Master Yi, the spirit stones. My money shouldn't be enough for these 2 spirit stones, right?" The old man smiled. "Young Master Yi is a valued guest of our first auction house. We can make this exception. Please accept them." Seeing the sincerity, Yishuan could only say, "Then thank you for your generosity." After the transaction, Yishuan happily walked out of the first auction house. Yishuan walked outside, and the little girl was still throwing that wooden bird. Yishuan remembered that Lingo also liked wooden birds. He walked over to the little girl, squatted down, and asked, "What are you trying to throw? Can I help you?" The little girl looked at Yishuan and pointed to the distance. Yishuan looked up and saw a dark bird with only 1 leg. Yishuan thought for a moment and then started carving rapidly. Soon, a lifelike bird appeared in the little girl's hands. Yishuan gave the little bird to the girl. "Here you go." The little girl took the wooden bird, looked at it, then at Yishuan. Yishuan smiled. When carving, focus. The more distracted you are, the more mistakes you'll make. He said goodbye to the girl and walked back with his sword case. It was the poisonwood bird, which flew to the little girl's shoulder. The little girl asked, "Can you sense it?" The poisonwood bird shook its head. "No magic." The girl looked towards the sky. "A sword immortal has appeared in Jian country, and we, the guardians, are unaware." "How absurd." The one-horned girl looked in Yexuan's direction. "This person offended master. Should I kill him?" The little girl jumped onto the eaves. "No need. He has a kind heart and is worthy of nurturing. Don't touch him. Let him grow. In the future, if he remains kind-hearted, we can nurture him and bring another sword immortal to our realm." Yishuan, carrying his sword case, passed through a small alley when suddenly a figure flashed past him from behind. Yishuan immediately turned to check. A white-haired young man appeared before him. The young man said, "You're Yishuan. Today, we're taking your head, come and get it." At the same time, 2 more figures appeared behind Yishuan. One held a spear, the other held a long saber. Yishuan put his sword case down and said indifferently, "Kill me. Let's see if you have the ability." The spearman chuckled. "Truthfully, we're not your match individually. So we decided to attack together." Yishuan spread his hands. 3 half-step spirit harmony realm experts to kill me. Just how much does your Tsangmu Academy fear me? The spearman shouted, overthinking. Isn't it normal for young people to be arrogant? Saying this, he attacked Yishuan. Yishuan laughed. Isn't overthinking the same as being careful? Saying this, Yexuan's left hand also struck out. With a loud boom, the 2 attacks collided. The spearman spat out blood and flew backward. Yeshuan mocked, didn't you say you'd attack together? Or are you too scared? These words instantly enraged the other two. They attacked Yeshuan from both sides. Just as they were about to hit Yeshuan, his figure vanished. The two inadvertently hit each other. Yeshuan leaned against the wall, sighing. That's why I said one at a time. Otherwise, friendly fire is inevitable. Suddenly, a black flying sword shot towards Yeshuan. He barely managed to dodge, the black sword piercing his sword belt. Yeshuan broke the flying sword and shouted, "Who's the coward attacking from behind?" On a distant rooftop stood a woman in black, holding a longbow. She stared at Yeshuan. "No matter what, I will kill you to avenge my senior brother." She drew her bow, aiming at Yeshuan. Another one. Yeshuan was getting annoyed. Killed by me, and now it's revenge. Utsamu Academy people really don't respect life. He drew Lingxiu, kicked off the ground, and launched a sword beam at the woman. At the same time, the woman's arrow shot out. The sword beam split the arrow in two, then continued towards the woman. The woman struggled to get up, thinking, so strong. No wonder my senior brothers were no match for him. She then ran away. Yexuan's face darkened. Half-step spirit harmony today, what next? Sangmu dogs. One day, you'll make you pay for your stupidity, hey? Just as Yeshuan was brooding, a voice called out from below. Enjoying the sunset up there. Yeshuan looked down. It was Ji Anji, Mo Yunqi, and Bai Zi. The one who called out was Ji Anji. He chuckled. We got some good stuff upstairs, want some? Mo Yunqi picked up a long saber, his heart filled with joy. Such a good spiritual weapon. At least, gold coins. Bai Zi picked up a spear. Yeshuan and Ji Anji looked at the two with their new weapons. Not bad, right? Top-grade spiritual weapons. Mo Yunqi laughed. Yeshuan, I finally understand why you like fighting. Fighting makes you rich. Bai Zi wholeheartedly agreed. Ji Anji noticed Yeshuan still lacked a sword and asked, are you alright? Yexuan's eyelids felt heavy. Of course, before he finished, he fainted. Yeshuan. In Yexuan's room at Kanglan Academy, Mo Yunqi anxiously asked Old Ji, how is he? Old Ji checked Yexuan's pulse, then took a sip of wine. No poison. Has just lost too much blood, and exhausted. Everyone, hearing this, breathed a sigh of relief. Ji Anji looked at Mo Yunqi and Bai Zi. Don't tell Linga. That crybaby will never stop. The two nodded in agreement. The next morning, the sun shone brightly. Behind Kanglan Academy, Ji Anji supervised Yexuan's training. Mo Yunqi complained, isn't body tempering Bai Zi's thing. Why am I involved? Yeshuan felt even more wronged. I'm a patient, why do I have to train? Ji Anji simply said, stop complaining and train. Suddenly, a flying sword shot towards Ji Anji. He dodged, and the sword split the tree trunk he was sitting on in half. Who's there? Ji Anji shouted. A man and a woman emerged from the forest. The woman was the one who had attacked Yeshuan. She glared at Yeshuan. I spared you yesterday. With my senior brother here today, you can't escape. Yeshuan chuckled. You spared me. I remember someone running away like a scared turtle. Enraged, the woman drew her sword and attacked. The white-haired man looked at Yeshuan and said, Imfeng Yishio, chief disciple of Chu country's Tanhun Academy, ranked 19th on the Qingju top. Yeshuan replied, Yeshuan, Jian country. Kanglan Academy. Ranked first on the Qingju top. Mo Yunqi was confused. Yeshuan, when did you become first? Yeshuan, without turning his head, said, last place isn't good enough, is it? His voice fell, and he raised his sword towards Feng Yishio. Feng Yishio remained calm. He extended his right hand, and a ball of blue mystical energy appeared in his palm. The ground beneath him cracked. Divine transformation. His sword fell, cleaving the earth. Witness this. Feng Yishio raised his right hand slightly, and the blue mystical energy shot towards Yexuan's sword. A loud boom resonated. The ground around them, within a radius of dozens of feet, cracked and shattered. Both were forced back dozens of feet. Before them was a chasm half a zhong wide. The surroundings were in ruins. Yeshuan looked at Lingxiu, then at Feng Yishio. Spirit harmony realm is indeed different. Feng Yishio looked at his right arm, which was now numb. He looked up at Yeshuan. Worthy of being a sword cultivator. Sword Chi possesses such terrifying power. Both Yeshuan and Feng Yishio felt that the other was not someone they could easily defeat. At this moment, an old man with a cane appeared. He looked at Feng Yishio. Yishio, are you here to demolish houses? Didn't I tell you to keep a low profile? Feng Yishio looked embarrassed. Master Shizuan, why are you here? The old man turned to look at Feng Yishio. Why am I here? I have to. He walked forward and hugged the old man, then chuckled. I wouldn't dare, master. Clearly, this disciple and master had a good relationship. The old man looked at Yishuan. Young Yishuan, I heard you wanted to join Jian Country's Tsangmu Academy, but they rejected you. Yishuan nodded. Foolish. The old man cursed. That idiot Lixuan Chang and his followers. How dare they reject you? This surprised Yishuan and the others. The old man pulled Feng Yishio towards Yishuan. Yishuan, let me introduce you. This is my beloved disciple, Feng Yishio. You two fought, how about becoming friends? Yishuan was silent. This old man's cultivation was unfathomable. Making me friends with Feng Yishio. What's the meaning of this? The old man continued, don't overthink it. We're sincere about wanting to be friends. Yishuan was confused. You attacked me last night. And ambushed me today. Is this your so-called sincerity? The old man smiled slightly. No, no, no. He suddenly flicked his fingers, and 3 top-grade spirit stones appeared before Yishuan. Mo Yunqi and Ji Anji. Before Mo Yunqi appeared a pair of gleaming daggers. Before Ji Anji appeared a long saber emitting fiery flames. Before Yishuan, naturally, was a top-grade spirit sword. Clearly, the old man came, prepared. He explained, 3 top-grade spirit weapons. Blood sword, flying daggers, fire saber. These are our gifts to make amends. These 3 top-grade spirit weapons left Yishuan and the others speechless. After hearing the old man's explanation, all 3 began playing with their new weapons. Baizi looked pitiful, as if had been forgotten. Just when things seemed settled, Yishuan turned the tables. Do you think a few spirit weapons can erase your attempt on my life? I'm not that easy to appease. The old man was surprised. What would young Master Yishuan have me do to mend this grievance? Yishuan stated his condition, pointing at the woman. You apologize to me and my 3 friends. The woman was furious. You bastard. Don't push it too far. We were just testing your cultivation. You almost killed my senior brother, and now you want me to apologize to you and your master. Yishuan was equally blunt. He threw Xiaolin's sword on the ground. If you refuse, get lost. Trying to take my life isn't something a few apologies can fix. Feng Yishio and the woman were enraged and prepared to fight. The old man quickly stopped them, then turned to Yishuan. My disciple acted rashly without my knowledge. It was our fault. Please accept my sincerest apologies. He bowed deeply. Yishuan hadn't expected such humility and hurried forward to help him up. Elder, your sincerity is clear. I understand. Seeing his goal achieved, the old man leaned on Yishuan. Yishuan understood. If he really pressed the issue, this unfathomable old man could easily crush him. He asked, Elder, Sangmu and Kanglan are enemies. Why go to such lengths to befriend me? The old man smiled. I value talent, regardless of faction. Young Yishuan is a young hero with admirable character. Who wouldn't want to befriend him? Feng Yishio spoke up. Master Shizuan values talent. He wants to befriend you because of your cultivation and reputation. If you refuse, we won't force the issue. In other words, it was a test. Yishuan looked at Feng Yishio. I, Yishuan, also enjoy making friends. But I'd like to ask, Feng Yishio, what is friendship? Feng Yishio replied. Shared ideals, mutual respect, a meeting of minds. Yishuan agreed wholeheartedly. He grabbed Feng Yixio's hand. Well said. Based on that, I consider you a friend. Feng Yishio was also pleased. Then, Baizi spoke up. Why does everyone have something but me? The old man looked at Baizi, hesitated, and then said, this young friend cultivates his physical body. I don't have anything suitable for you. How about this? I'll give you an extra bottle of body tempering pills. Baizi accepted the jade bottle and thanked him. After a while, the old man looked at Yishuan. Young Master Yishuan, we have matters to attend to, so we'll take our leave. If you have time, you're welcome to visit Chu country. Yishuan bowed in return. Farewell, elder. I won't. See you out. The three walked into the forest. Feng Yishuo asked, Master Shizuan, why did you go to such lengths to befriend him? The old man looked at the sky. As long as I can build a relationship with Yishuan, even if it costs me all of Chu country's wealth, I'm willing. Because this boy will one day become the sky above us. Feng Yishuo and the woman were stunned. Inside the tower, Yishuan sat cross-legged on the ground, before him 3 spirit swords. He slowly closed his eyes and circulated the invincible sword body technique. Moments later, he extended his right hand. The 3 spirit swords suddenly emitted sword light and merged into his body. His cultivation instantly surged. His Lingxiu sword also vibrated as the 3 spirit swords poured immense energy into it. A booming sound echoed, and a powerful aura surrounded Yishuan. He had successfully broken through to the spirit void realm. Suddenly remembering something, Yishuan grabbed Lingxiu and ran to the 2nd floor entrance. He shouted, good news. I just broke through to the spirit void realm. Now my Lingxiu sword has reached top grade. I think it won't be long before I can suppress you, and then you can be released from. Before he could finish, a crisp cracking sound echoed. He was sent flying out of the tower. Back in reality, Yishuan crashed to the ground. After a while, he climbed up, rubbing his face, and smiled wryly. He thought he could at least exchange a few blows after reaching Spirit Void Realm. Reality proved he was still weak. Yishuan cleaned himself up and went to the back mountain of Kanglan Academy, wanting to try sword flight. After several failures, he finally managed to stand on Lingxiu, slowly rising into the distance. He was overjoyed. I can fly. Soon, Yishuan flew to a waterfall, where Baizi was cultivating. Baizi looked up, startled. Yishuan stood with his hands behind his back, looking down at Baizi with an air of superiority. From now on, call me Yixianren. He then turned and flew away. Baizi watched him go, and muttered, show off. In the Kanglan Academy courtyard, old Ji lay on a chair, as usual, reeking of alcohol. Suddenly, Yexuan's voice came from the sky. Old Ji. Old Ji, look at me. Old Ji opened his eyes, and saw Yishuan flying with his hands clasped behind his back. Old Ji, from now on, call me Yixianren. Old Ji spat out a mouthful of wine. He looked at Yishuan, then flicked his finger. A spirit stone landed before Yishuan. Hurry up and go check if your clothes are still on. Oh, right. Yishuan looked at the spirit stone, overjoyed, then flew off. Old Ji watched him and muttered, just spirit void realm, look how happy this fool is. Suddenly, a voice came from behind. Old Ji, living the good life, huh? Old Ji turned and saw Lixuan Chang. His face darkened. You're not welcome here. Spit it out and get lost. Lixuan Chang wasn't angered. Just now, I saw Yishuan flying on his sword. Didn't expect him to break through to Spirit Void Realm so quickly. Old Ji sneered, there's a lot you don't expect. Lixuan Chang continued, a hidden realm was discovered in the Jade Mountain range of Ning country. It's believed to belong to Ning country's former strongest cultivator, Po Ba. That Po Ba had surpassed the law manifestation realm. There must be many treasures inside. Ning country is opening it to cultivators under from surrounding countries. Any Spirit Void Realm cultivator can participate. How about it, Kanglan Academy? Interested? Old Ji replied decisively, not interested. Lixuan Chang laughed. Not interested. You will be, Kanjio said as he crushed the small fish with a red palm. Behind this strong wall, a grey-robed man was carrying a little girl. This little girl was, thank you, old man, she saw. Yi Xian, seeing Yi Ling captured, was extremely anxious. He stared at Li Xianchang. It seems that in order to kill me, your Tsangmu Academy has abandoned all sense of decency. Even dispatching 2 myriad laws realm experts to capture a defenseless child. A cruel smile crept across Li Xuanchang's lips. We don't care about decency, we only want Yi Xian's life. Tell him, if he doesn't participate, his sister will die in the mystic realm. Ji Lao's hands trembled with rage. If you dare to touch her, I swear I will annihilate every student in Tsangmu Academy. Li Xianchang sneered, if you dare to interfere, she will definitely die. Ji Lao knew Li Xianchang meant what he said. If he fought him, Linga would certainly be injured. For Linga's safety, Li Xianchang turned back to Ji Lao. Enough nonsense. In 3 days, I want to see Yi Xian in the mystic realm. Ji Lao couldn't help but say, you're courting death. Li Xianchang glanced at Ji Lao. You say he's courting death, but isn't Yi Xian doing the same by coming here? Just then, a furious roar suddenly came from the sky. Li, you old dog, release my sister. As the voice fell, a sword light slashed down. Li Xuanchang's lips curled into a sneer. He lightly tapped his right index finger forward, and the sword light shattered. Yi Xian was sent flying backward, crashing. Li Xianchang looked at Yi Xian. Want to save your sister? Come to the mystic realm in 3 days. He then turned and left. Yi Xian wanted to pursue, but Ji Lao stopped him. Yi Xian looked at Ji Lao. I never imagined that Li would use such despicable tactics. Yi Xian's eyes slowly closed. After a moment of silence, he suddenly turned. No matter what anyone says, I must go. Don't blame me for being weak, he said to Ji Lao, who sighed softly. At that moment, Mo Yunqi, Jiangji, and Bai Zi appeared beside them. Jiangji looked worried. What's wrong with Yi Xian? I saw him rushing towards the mountains with his sword. Since I am only a little worried, what happened to Yi Xian? I saw him rushing to the mountain with his sword in hand. Ji Lao sighed. He's going to the mystic realm. Mo Yunqi was confused. To the mystic realm. Why? Ji Lao explained, Linga has been taken hostage by that old dog Li and brought to the mystic realm. Hearing this, both Jiangji and Bai Zi looked worried. Mo Yunqi cursed angrily, those old dogs from Sangmu Academy are truly disgusting. At the foot of Tanglan Mountain, Mo Yunqi and the others found Yi Xian. Yi Xian said softly, this is a trap set for me. You don't need to get involved. Mo Yunqi looked offended. Damn it, you saying you don't consider us brothers? Yi Ling is not only your sister, she's our sister too. We're family, aren't we? Jiangji added to Mo Yunqi's words. As family, we will absolutely not let you face this alone. Yi Xian hesitated, but Jiangji interrupted him. Enough talk, let's go. We're going to the mystic realm too. Looking at the three, Yi Xian felt a surge of gratitude. Finally, the four decided to go together. In a dark room within the Jiang Kingdom Palace, Jiang Yuqian sat in a chair, petting a small black dog. A middle-aged man appeared, bowing slightly. Your Majesty. Yi Xian has been forced into the mystic realm by Sangmu Academy. Jiang Yuqian sighed. This Sangmu Academy is truly formidable. He then gave his orders. Investigate the identities of the two black-robed figures beside Li Xianchang. Also, secretly escort Yi Xian. The middle-aged man nodded. Jiang Yuqian suddenly thought of something. I heard that the first tower also sent people to escort Yi Xian. It's true, Your Majesty, the middle-aged man confirmed. The 9th princess is personally involved. Jiang Yuqian burst into laughter. Princess Huayu. Interesting. This little friend has quite the temperament. The middle-aged man remained silent, not daring to comment. Jiang Yuqian continued, no need for shadows. I will personally escort Yi Xian. After all, he's acquainted with the 9th princess. At the foot of a mountain, a man suddenly appeared in front of a thatched hut. Kneeling, he reported, Master, Yi Ling has been captured by Sangmu Academy and taken to the mystic realm. Which direction? Moments later, the thatched hut exploded. A small girl emerged, her face livid with rage. Sangmu Academy, how dare they? If anything happens to Yi Ling, I will destroy Sangmu Academy. Meanwhile, in the main hall of Sangmu Academy, Li Xianchang slammed his fist on the chair in anger. Who is manipulating public opinion, spreading the news of my taking Yi Ling? This is an attack on Sangmu Academy. Li Xiu, standing below, stepped forward. It seems to be the first tower, and possibly the Jiang Kingdom royal family. Li Xuanchang's eyes narrowed. They have no reason to oppose Sangmu Academy. According to our investigation, when Yi Xian and the others headed to the mystic realm, the 9th master of the first tower personally escorted them. Furthermore, the previous king of the Jiang Kingdom is also involved. Hearing this, everyone's expressions turned grim. This clearly showed they were siding with Kanglan Academy. Jiang Kingdom had 3 major powers. Sangmu Academy, the first tower, and the Jiang royal family. Now, 2 of these forces were siding with Kanglan Academy. This was not good. Everyone looked at Li Xianchang. His eyes slowly closed. Li Xiu, did you truly investigate Yi Xian's background? Li Xiu nodded. He's from Qingchen Peak. Li Xianchang suddenly roared, tiny Qingchen Peak. How could it nurture a sword sage, let alone a grand sword sage? That boy was already a sword sage before joining Kanglan Academy. Meaning he didn't achieve that at Kanglan Academy. After returning from the Two Realms Mountain, his power increased dramatically, even slaying Fen Ju. How could such a person be ordinary? Are you all incompetent fools? Li Xiu's face paled, and he knelt. It's my fault, Dean. Li Xianchang cursed, useless. He turned to Vice Dean Mu Song. How are the preparations? Mu Song respectfully replied, almost complete. King Chuoba Yang of Ning Kingdom has agreed to cooperate with us. Li Xianchang nodded. What about the students from the Great Cloud Empire? Mu Song hesitated, then said, they demand the heavenly connecting weapon. If we agree, they will send their students to assist us in killing Yi Xian. Li Xianchang didn't hesitate. Agree. Whatever they want, just agree. I want Yi Xian to become a target for everyone. Everyone in the hall was stunned by Li Xuanchang's decision. Li Xianchang continued, arrange for the Dark Realm as well. I want to see if Kanglan Academy, who dares to protect him, will dare to face the entire world. That night, Yi Xian and his companions arrived at the Ning Kingdom capital. Mo Yunqi looked at the bustling scene. I never thought the Ning Kingdom capital would be even more prosperous than the Jiang Kingdom capital. Jiangji sensed something amiss. A group of people wearing Sangmu Academy uniforms surrounded them. One of the Sangmu students sneered at Yi Xian. So you're that Yi Xian from Kanglan Academy? I heard your head is worth quite a lot. Suddenly, Yi Xian vanished. The next moment, the student's voice abruptly cut off. His throat was slit open, blood sprayed everywhere. Everyone's faces paled. Yi Xian truly was ruthless. Yi Xian held out his hand, and the Lingxiu sword flew out. A streak of sword light flashed through the air, weaving between the Sangmu Academy students. Screams echoed, heads rolled. Not a single one was spared. Everyone was stunned. Jiangji and the others were also shocked. The aura surrounding Yi Xian was heavy, oppressive, as if he had become a different person. The Lingxiu sword gently landed in Yi Xian's hand. A drop of blood dripped from the tip. Yi Xian sheathed the sword and walked away. After 2 steps, he stopped. A middle-aged man stood before him, staring intently. This is Ning Kingdom, not Jiang Kingdom. It's not a place you can run wild. Yi Xian vanished, reappearing above the man. A sword flashed. Before the man could react, he was bisected. Yi Xian wiped the blood off his face and softly said, I'm just here to take my sister home. He scanned the surroundings. Where is my sister? Suddenly, a sword flew towards him. Yi Xian easily dodged it. A black-clad figure landed on a nearby rooftop. Yi Xian roared, protectors, die. He leaped into the air, the Lingxiu sword flashing, unleashing a flurry of sword attacks. Wherever the sword light touched, buildings collapsed. Everyone could see that Yi Xian was not in his right mind. Those around him stopped watching and fled. Just then, a furious roar came from the sky. An invisible pressure descended upon Yi Xian. He looked up. An old man stood in the air, staring down with undisguised killing intent. I will make Ning Kingdom your burial ground, you little brat. Old fool, I am Yuanxin, an elder of Tanglan Academy. Yi Xian's face darkened. Another dog from Sangmu Academy. He suddenly leaped into the air, thrusting his sword upwards. Life and death. The old man's expression changed drastically. He thrust his palms downwards. An invisible wave erupted from his palms, but the sword light easily pierced through it. The old man plummeted from the sky, his fate unknown. Everyone watched in terror as Yi Xian killed at Sangmu Academy elder with a single strike. They looked at him as if he were a demon. Yi Xian landed gently, looking towards the remaining Sangmu students. Their faces were filled with terror. They fled. Yi Xian wanted to pursue, but Jiangji stopped him. Don't chase them, let's go to the Mystic Realm. Yi Xian reluctantly agreed. Jiangji looked at Yi Xian with concern. I'm worried. If anything happens to Yi Ling in the Mystic Realm, he might completely lose control. Jiangji was determined to prevent Yi Xian from losing himself in the Mystic Realm. After reaching the entrance of the Mystic Realm in the Ning Kingdom Mountains, the four quickly entered. Jiangji and the others tried to get Yi Xian to eat something, but he had no appetite. After a while, Bai Zi frowned. Something's not right. They stopped. Bai Zi sniffed the ground. After a moment, he looked at the others. I smell humans. More than one. Jiangji cursed, that old thief Li Xianchang is relentless. Other forces are waiting for him on top of the mountain, and he's sending people after me here. Yi Xian's killing intent surged. Don't worry, we'll take care of them. Just protect yourselves. He then ran up the mountain. Seeing this, Mo Yunqi and the others were shocked. Mo Yunqi rushed after him. Yi Xian, wait. Just then, countless arrows rained down on them. Jiangji and the others quickly defended themselves. There were over 100 arrows, each tipped with green liquid. Clearly, it was poison. Mo Yunqi cursed, those bastards are despicable. When I get up there, we'll kill every last one of them. Bai Zi agreed. After this brief exchange, Yi Xian had already disappeared. Jiangji and the others quickly followed. When they reached the summit, the scene was a bloodbath. They stared in disbelief. These people, why would they provoke that lunatic? They are courting death. Jiangji pointed towards the entrance of the mystic realm. Is Yi Xian going in? He then made arrangements. Bai Zi, your physique is strong. Stay close to Yi Xian and protect him. Mo Yunqi, you're the fastest. Find Yi Ling, you'll contact my grandfather and see if he can send reinforcements. Mo Yunqi and Bai Zi nodded. Meanwhile, at another vantage point, King Tuoba Yang of Ning Kingdom watched them with a puzzled expression. You say Yi Xian came here knowing it's a death trap, just to save his sister. Is he stupid or what? The old man beside him replied, Your Majesty, Yi Xian's talent is undeniable. If he lives, he might very well overturn Sangmu Academy in the future. However, the old woman next to him interrupted, I think you're overthinking it. She bowed to Tuoba Yang. Your Majesty, I believe Yi Xian is loyal and courageous. But true courage lies in knowing when to retreat. Will he really come? The old man's lips twitched. He didn't comment, but he muttered softly, if he comes, his friends will die in vain. Tuoba Yang sighed. Whether they die in vain or not is irrelevant. The question is, will he come? If he doesn't, and lets his sister die, even if he becomes a sword god in the future, he will not be a real man. A black-clad figure appeared behind Tuoba Yang, kneeling. Your Majesty, Dean Li Xianchang of Sangmu Academy asks why you broke your promise and didn't send anyone to assist him. Tuoba Yang glanced at the figure, ignored him, and turned away. After entering the mystic realm, Yi Xian found himself in a grassy meadow, surrounded by mountains, with a small river in front and a clear blue sky above. The mystic realm wasn't much different from the outside world. It was simply a separate space, isolated by mystic arts. Yi Xian was worried. Is Linga? Suddenly, a voice boomed, I'm here to take your life, Yi Xian. A man descended from the sky, thrusting his spear. Yi Xian dodged, the attack hitting the ground, leaving a large crater. Yi Xian's expression remained unchanged. You're not qualified to take my life. He flashed towards the spearman, the Lingxiu sword, slashing down. The spearman was cleaved in two. His body fell to the ground. Yi Xian looked down at his hand. It was a bloody mess. If he hadn't reacted quickly, he might have died, or at least been severely injured. The spearman's attack was not only powerful but also utilized an earth-grade weapon, possibly even a mid-grade one. If the full power of that attack had been unleashed, he would have had to use the earth shadow step to survive. Suddenly, a figure leaped from the river, attempting to ambush Yi Xian. Yi Xian's eyes narrowed. One after another, he jumped back, dodging the attack. The ambusher was fast. Seeing his attack miss, he charged towards Yi Xian. Before Yi Xian could react, a fist slammed into his chest. Yi Xian staggered backward. The ambusher sneered. I heard you knew this was a trap but still came. I admire your courage, so I'll make your death quick and painless. Yi Xian grinned coldly. That's exactly what I was thinking. As his voice fell, Yi Xian vanished, reappearing above the attacker. The Lingxiu sword flashed downwards. The attacker raised a protective barrier, blocking the attack. A mere sword intent. Show me something real. Yi Xian vanished again. The attacker's face changed drastically. Yi Xian reappeared above him, delivering a powerful kick to his head. A sickening crack echoed. The attacker begged for mercy, but Yi Xian remained unmoved, kicking the man's head away. Suddenly, a cry came from nearby. Yi Xian thought it was Linga, but it was a strange girl in red. The girl looked at the corpse on the ground, tears streaming down her face. I will avenge you, brother. Yi Xian frowned slightly. The girl rushed towards the corpse in the river. She clung to it, sobbing. The sky began to rain. Yi Xian watched, slightly confused. You're just a little girl who knows a bit of martial arts. Why are you involved in this? The girl, recalling happier times with her brother, replied through her tears. Brother said that if we killed you, we wouldn't have to wander anymore. We could finally go home. I just want to go home with brother. Yi Xian felt a pang of sympathy. He pulled the girl away from the corpse. There are countless ways to make a living, but you chose the worst one. You're foolish. The girl retorted, brother was always right. Don't you dare insult him. Looking at her fierce expression, Yi Xian sighed. He tossed her a bag of money. This is enough for you to live comfortably. As for revenge, your cultivation is too weak. I killed your brother. If you have the ability, come find me in the future. With that, Yi Xian stepped into the newly appeared portal. He emerged in a valley. There was a house ahead, and Yi Ling was tied to a pillar. A man stood nearby. Seeing this, Yi Xian's eyes burned with rage. The man spoke, greetings, Yi Xian. I've heard so much about you. I am Gansha-san of the Great Cloud Empire's Tsangmu Academy. Yi Xian roared, I don't care who you are. Get out of my way if you don't want to die. He swung his Lingxiu sword, sending a sword attack towards Gansha-san. He dodged easily. The sword attack struck a nearby tree. Gansha-san smirked. Such a delicate little beauty tied up here, it's truly heartbreaking. Too bad you showed up. He then channeled his power, activating his heavenly connecting weapon. The Heaven and Earth Seal. A powerful force erupted from Gansha-san's fingertips. A massive, illusory energy seal appeared in the air, descending towards Yi Xian. The seal contained immense power, like a volcano erupting after millennia of dormancy. The force was so overwhelming that the ground beneath Yi Xian cracked. Yi Xian didn't dare underestimate it. He swung his Lingxiu sword, unleashing a powerful sword intent that soared towards the illusory seal. A loud boom resonated as the seal shattered the sword intent and slammed into Yi Xian, burying him beneath the earth. After a while, the dust settled. Yi Xian struggled to his feet. Gansha-san was shocked. Impossible. No one can break my Heaven and Earth Seal. No one. Yi Xian seized the opportunity, attacking with his Lingxiu sword. Gansha-san. Gansha-san finally realized, you're not a sword saint, you're a sword sovereign. He raised his left hand to block, but Yi Xian infused his attack with even greater power. A crimson light flashed. Gansha-san wore a look of disbelief. He couldn't believe he was dying at Yi Xian's hands. As his consciousness faded, his body slumped to the ground. After defeating Gansha-san, Yi Xian untied Yi Ling from the pillar. Yi Ling was weak. Yi Xian held her close, preparing to leave. Just then, a needle flew into Yi Xian's chest. He looked down. There was a red dot on his chest. He frowned. What is this? Jianji and the others arrived. Jianji answered, it's the blood curse mark. The blood curse mark. It's a life and death mark used by the Dark Realm, an assassin organization. Once marked, you become their target. Countless assassins will hunt you relentlessly. Jianji patted Yi Xian's shoulder. Let them come. We're not afraid. Baizi nodded. That's right. Just then, a young girl appeared. Yi Xian was stunned. It was the girl who had given Yi Ling the Skyfire Warm Jade. She said, give Yi Ling to me. You'll take her. Yi Xian hesitated, looking at the girl's determined expression. Mo Yunqi stepped forward. Where did this kid come from? Go away. The girl flicked her finger. Mo Yunqi was sent flying, crashing into the ground, creating a large crater. The girl repeated, give Yi Ling to me. Yi Xian shook his head. That's impossible. Linga will stay with me. The girl looked at Yi Xian. Can you protect her? Yi Xian said firmly, I will protect her with my life. The girl waved her hand dismissively. Your life is insignificant. Tsangmu Academy has myriad laws realm experts. The Dark Realm has assassinated even those stronger than myriad laws realm experts. And there are countless other factions seeking revenge. What will you do then? You're surrounded by enemies. Keeping her with you will only lead to her death. If she comes with me to the Northern Han sect, we can protect her. Yi Xian's face darkened. Yi Ling suddenly whispered, "Brother, I want to go with her." Yi Xian's body trembled slightly, still wanting to object, even anxious at this moment. "Sister, what are you saying? Your brother risked his life to save you. How can you leave with someone else?" Mo Yunqi also disagreed. "No, you can't go." Yi Xian looked at his sister and asked, "Lina, do you really want to go with him?" Yi Ling's tears immediately flowed down. She looked at Yi Xian. "Brother, I also want to become stronger. I don't want to be your burden anymore. And I don't want to be captured and used to threaten you. Brother, I want to become stronger. I want to be able to protect you in the future." Yi Xian was silent for a moment, then stepped forward and gently wiped away the tears on Yi Ling's face. "Good Lina, don't cry. You look like a mess. If you want to go with him, I can agree." Yi Xian looked at his sister seriously. "But remember, if you encounter any danger, understand." Yi Ling wiped her tears and nodded her head. Yi Xian pulled his sister and looked towards the little girl. He bowed slightly. "Senior, Lina is gentle and doesn't like disputes. Take care of her." The little girl said, "No one dares to bully her in our Northern Han sect. You should worry about yourself." Saying that, she pulled Yi Ling and soared into the sky. Yi Xian looked up at the sky and shouted, "Linger, wait for me. Brother will definitely come back for you." Yi Ling also shouted, "Brother, take good care of yourself. He'll miss you." Yi Xian looked at the sky for a long time, until Yi Ling's voice completely disappeared. Regarding Yi Ling being forced to leave this time, Yi Xian knew in his heart that it was all due to his lack of strength. He clenched his fists tightly and determined. "I want to become a Jian Zan, no, a Jian Huang. No, I want to become a Jian Xian. I want to be a Jian Xian. If I were a Jian Xian, all these problems wouldn't be problems." The others, seeing Yi Xian like this, felt uneasy. Mo Yunqi stepped forward and said, "Let's go, Yi Bandit. If we don't leave now, our pursuers will catch up." At this moment, the ground suddenly trembled. Soon, the surroundings began to distort. Seeing this scene, Yi Xian's expression became serious. "It seems this secret realm is about to disappear. Let's go." After he finished speaking, everyone immediately left. Outside the secret realm, Yi Xian and the other two appeared at the foot of the secret realm mountain. Mo Yunqi patted his chest. That secret realm was really dangerous. If we hadn't run fast, we would already be dead. Bai Zi nodded in agreement. Then he realized that someone seemed to be missing. "Where's Yi Xian?" Mo Yunqi and Bai Zi both exclaimed. Could that Yi Bandit have been trapped inside? Meanwhile, Yi Xian appeared in a mysterious cave. Not far in front of him sat a middle-aged man. The man was dressed in a white robe, looking quite elegant. However, he was translucent, not a physical being. Yi Xian looked around, then at the middle-aged man. "Senior." The middle-aged man closed his eyes and smiled. "Young man, Mo Huang. I just want to make a friend. I witnessed your fight earlier. Your skills are quite impressive." Yi Xian was confused. "But senior, why did you bring me here? Who are you?" The middle-aged man opened his eyes and looked at Yi Xian. "Who I am is not important. What's important is your extraordinary talent. You cultivate both Jian Dao and Wu Dao, and have even reached the hidden realm. This hidden realm is different from the ordinary hidden realm. It truly shocked me. Could you tell me who you're?" Yi Xian was wary. He didn't know what this old man was up to, asking about the mysterious woman. He asked, "Senior, why are you asking about her?" The middle-aged man smiled. "Don't worry, I mean you no harm. I'm just curious about your master. If you don't want to say, that's fine. As for why I brought you here, it's because you're the only person I've ever seen who can cultivate 5 Daos and the Jian Dao simultaneously. You are a truly rare genius. I'm not proficient in TU, but I know a little about Wu Dao. If you don't mind, I can teach you a Zhong Yi technique. What do you think?" Hearing this, Yi Xian was overjoyed inside. "Teach me a technique. There's such a good thing." However, he maintained a calm expression. "I wouldn't refuse, but I've never met Senior before. Why would you do this?" The middle-aged man smiled. "We haven't met, but we are destined. If my Ning country encounters trouble in the future, please help us if you can. Yi Xian asked. Senior said you are from Ning country. The middle-aged man nodded. What? You don't want to associate with people from Ning country? Yi Xian shook his head. Not at all, it's just... The middle-aged man didn't waste any words. He directly condensed a ball of light in his hand. Then, with a wave of his hand, the ball of light directly enveloped Yi Xian. Yi Xian cried out in pain. Then the middle-aged man's voice came, Zhong Yi. Condense your will into one. Gradually, Yi Xian's cries subsided. The sword in his hand trembled violently. In the next moment, a sword aura shot up into the sky, piercing through the bottom of the cave and into the clouds. Within the cave, a powerful aura surged out from Yi Xian. At the same time, a change occurred above the cave. The clouds in the sky suddenly converged towards the cave. Furthermore, a rainbow appeared across the sky above the cave. This was actually a heavenly phenomenon. The middle-aged man looked at Yi Xian with a complex expression, to achieve 5 Daos and the Jian Dao simultaneously, and even trigger a heavenly phenomenon. Just who is his master, to be able to teach such a... After a while, Yi Xian's body gradually calmed down, and he let out a sigh of relief. Then he said to the middle-aged man, Senior, my Jian Yi seems to have become stronger. The middle-aged man nodded. That's natural. If you hadn't become stronger, wouldn't my efforts have been wasted? Saying that, he handed Yi Xian a box. Yi Xian took the box and opened it. Inside was a dragon-shaped token with 2 golden characters. Ning Guo. Yi Xian was puzzled. Senior, what is this? The middle-aged man explained, this is a token of identity within Ning Guo. Although you're not from Ning Guo, it can still be useful. If you travel in Ning Guo, this token can protect you from unnecessary trouble. In addition, this token has another use. Inside it is a small formation called the Giant Dragon Formation. If you encounter an enemy in the future, as long as you have enough high-grade spirit stones, you can activate this formation and gain a trace of dragon's might. This can greatly enhance your physical strength and defense. It should be of great help to you now. Yi Xian accepted the token. Thank you, Senior. The middle-aged man smiled. You entering my secret realm today is considered fate. Since we are fated, I naturally want to offer a favor. Young man, I hope we will meet again someday. After he finished speaking, his body gradually faded. Soon, the middle-aged man completely disappeared. Yi Xian nodded. Right, we'll meet again. Yi Xian's voice also disappeared. Where did he go? Yi Xian scratched his head sheepishly. Sorry for making you wait. Mo Yunqi said, somewhat jokingly, if you hadn't, Bai Zi muttered, weren't you the one who was clamoring to go back? Mo Yunqi immediately changed the subject. Return home. Back at the Kanglin Academy, Old Man Ji lit 3 black incense sticks. A faint smoke drifted up. Soon, the illusory figure of a middle-aged man appeared in the smoke. The middle-aged man looked coldly at Old Man Ji. What is it? Old Man Ji cupped his hands. Qingju, Kanglin Academy, Ji requests an audience with the ancestor. Hearing this, the middle-aged man frowned and said coldly, so you are the Ji who left the main academy and demanded an apology from the dean. Old man Ji remained silent. The middle-aged man sneered, so arrogant back then, why are you begging the main academy for help now? Where is your courage? Where is the arrogance you had when you left? Old man Ji still remained silent. The middle-aged man said coldly, perhaps you don't know, you have been expelled from the main academy. You are no longer a member of Kanglin Academy. As for the Kanglin Academy in Qingju, I, on behalf of Kanglin Academy, warn you, our Kanglin Academy has never opened a branch in Qingju and will not recognize it. If you dare to open a Kanglin Academy here, you will face our wrath. After he finished speaking, his figure disappeared. Expelled Old Man Ji muttered in a daze. Suddenly, an attack came, directly blasting the Kanglin Academy's main hall into ruins. Old Man Ji looked up and saw several figures appear in the air. Someone, bring Yi Xian to me. Old Man Ji unleashed his full power and directly blasted those people away. At this moment, several other figures landed on the ground. A white-robed old man looked at Old Man Ji. Wanfa Feng Jin. I never expected to find such a strong person in this small Qingju. Beside the white-robed old man stood a young man. The young man was about 20 years old with a cold expression. Quickly summon reinforcements, Old Man Ji shouted. He looked at the white-robed old man. Da Yum Kangmu Academy. The white-robed old man nodded. Indeed. It seems I must eliminate you first before dealing with this Kanglin Academy. As he spoke, his figure disappeared from his spot. The next moment, he appeared in front of Old Man G and punched him in the stomach. Old Man G spat out blood and stumbled backward. He looked at the white-robed old man. You. The white-robed old man snorted, killing you is effortless. He then leaped into the air and struck downwards with his palm. A large crater appeared on the ground. Old Man G lay in the crater, life or death unknown. Just as Old Man G was severely injured, Yi Xian and the other three rushed over. The white-robed old man looked at Yi Xian. You must be that Yi Xian who humiliated the Kangmu Academy disciples in the secret realm, I presume. Yi Xian nodded. Indeed, it is I. The white-robed old man sized Yi Xian up. Your foundation is quite solid, and you cultivate both Jian and Wu Dao. No, your physical body can also be considered Tixio. Someone like you is rare, not only in Qingju, but even in Dayun. He then said to the red-haired young man beside him, go, spar with him. And avenge your senior brother. The red-haired young man nodded and stepped forward. Two curved blades appeared in the young man's hands, and he prepared to fight Yi Xian. Yi Xian held his Lingxiu sword in front of him, ready to fight. The red-haired young man attacked first. He leaped forward, as heavy as a ferocious tiger. Yi Xian blocked the red-haired youth's twin blades with his sword. The force from their clash radiated outwards. Both of them retreated a few steps. Yi Xian looked at the young man opposite him. This kid's cultivation technique is completely unfamiliar. It's like some kind of Western technique. The red-haired youth sneered, not enough. Your killing intent is far from enough. Saying that, he charged towards Yi Xian, again. Yi Xian gripped his sword tightly. Is that so? Then I'll show you my killing intent. He then stepped forward and punched. The red-haired youth was sent flying, crashing to the ground beside the white-robed old man. The impact created a small crater. Yi Xian sneered, is this the killing intent you want? The youth climbed up, wiping the blood from the corner of his mouth. He glared at Yi Xian. You're a Wu Dao Grandmaster. Yi Xian chuckled. What, are you afraid? The youth was enraged. I've never been afraid of anyone. He was about to attack again, when the white-robed old man beside him stopped him. Tia Wu, stop. You're no match for him. The young man reluctantly retreated behind the white-robed old man. The white-robed old man looked at Yi Xian. Now I understand why the Kangmu Academy wants you dead at all costs. Someone like you absolutely cannot be left alive. I'll send you to hell. His voice fell, and he raised his right hand and pressed down on Yi Xian. An invisible pressure instantly appeared above Yi Xian's head, about to crush him. At this moment, Old Man Ji suddenly appeared in front of Yi Xian. He pushed Yi Xian away and shouted, "Run! All of you, run!" Yi Xian was about to say something when a powerful attack descended from the sky and struck Old Man Ji directly. Yi Xian and the others were shocked. Their expressions changed drastically. Old Man Ji gritted his teeth. I can't let them die here. The white-robed old man glanced at Old Man Ji, hint of mockery in his eyes. No wonder the Kanglan Academy has remained undisturbed for so many years. With a strong person like you protecting it, anyone who wants to touch it would have to think twice. However, you've made a grave mistake. He leaped into the air and punched Old Man Ji. Old Man Ji's scream echoed through the air. Yi Xian and the others, seeing this, were heartbroken. Seeing Old Man Ji injured, Yi Xian swung his Lingxiu sword repeatedly, attacking the white-robed old man. Finally, he managed to create a small opening. Old Man Ji's body was sent flying. Yi Xian rushed forward and caught Old Man Ji. The others also rushed over. At this time, Old Man Ji was severely injured. Yi Xian hurriedly searched for healing pills. Old Man Ji grabbed his hand and said weakly, I am dying. I can no longer protect you. Tears welled up in the eyes of Yi Xian and the others. Mo Yunqi cried out, Old Man Ji, you'll be fine. There must be someone who can heal you. Old Man Ji looked at Yi Xian and the others weakly, don't cry. People from Kanglan Academy bleed, but they don't cry. He paused for a moment and looked at Yi Xian. After I'm gone, you will be the dean of Kanglan Academy. Promise me, take good care of them. Don't let them be bullied. Yi Xian nodded. I promise. Old Man Ji smiled faintly. He looked towards the distant sky. Two things. First, bring back the students from the Tsangshan branch. You are the dean now, you have this responsibility. Second, I come from the Shengtu Shinju, the main academy of Kanglan Academy. I'm not from Kanglan Academy, but I owe someone a favor. If you can, take me to the Kanglan Academy main academy and tell him, the old man, that I will repay his kindness in my next life. Yi Xian held Old Man Ji's hand and repeatedly assured him, okay, I promise you. I promise you everything. His voice was hoarse, with grief. At this time, a sharp voice rang out, how touching. But you don't have to worry about reuniting, as you'll all meet in the underworld soon enough. The speaker was the white-robed old man. He gathered his power, preparing to attack, again. Suddenly, Old Man Ji stood up, and with a push, a powerful force enveloped Yi Xian and the others, sending them away. Old Man Ji was prepared to sacrifice himself. The white-robed old man was furious. He attacked Old Man Ji with full force. Old Man Ji's body was now filled with terrifying energy, as if he would explode at any moment. Seeing this, the white-robed old man's expression changed drastically. Not good. Run, he's going to self-destruct. A loud boom echoed. Qinglong Yisheng. A powerful force erupted from Old Man Ji's body. This power was so strong that it instantly vaporized Old Man Ji. Those around him were also killed. The white-robed old man patted the dust off his clothes. To witness a Wanfa Jian Feng self-destruct at this age is quite an experience. The red-haired youth behind him asked, Master, you all right? Just a minor injury, nothing serious. As for Yi Xian, the white-robed old man paused, his face grim. Chase him. He must die today. Meanwhile, Yi Xian and the others were teleported to the foot of Kanglan Mountain. They looked in the direction of Old Man Ji, tears streaming down their faces. Mo Yunqi clenched his fists. No. I can't just leave like this. I want to avenge him. He'll kill that old dog. Yi Xian and Bai Zi shared the same thought. Suddenly, Ji Anji shouted angrily, Stop it. All of you, listen to me. Old Man Ji saved us because he wanted us to live. Now you want to go back and die. Do you want his sacrifice to be in vain? Yi Xian and the others froze. Yes, Old Man Ji sacrificed himself to save them. At this moment, two figures appeared before them. It was Jiang Yuqian and the 9th floor master of the Supreme Tower. Yi Xian was puzzled. 9th floor master, why are you helping us? The 9th floor master explained, the 3rd floor master knew you were being pursued by the Kangmu Academy and asked me to protect you in secret. Yi Xian looked at Jiang Yuqian, what about senior? Jiang Yuqian said, you are Jiao's friend and a rare genius of Jiang country. Protecting you is my duty. At this time, shouts came from the surrounding forest, chase them. Don't let them get away. Mo Yunqi became anxious. Yi Xian, what do we do? They are catching up. The 9th floor master urged, young friend Yi Xian, hurry and leave. Don't waste any more time. Yi Xian had no choice but to agree. Thank you, 9th floor master, for your help. The 9th floor master shook his head. Don't mention it. Let's go. Their figures flashed and disappeared. After Yi Xian and the others left, Li Xianchang and a black-robed man arrived. Li Xianchang was furious. That damn 9th floor master. Is he crazy? He actually sided with Yi Xian and dared to oppose our Kangmu Academy. Now that dozens of Wanfa realm experts are after Yi Xian's life, the Supreme Tower actually dares to protect him. They must be prepared to face the consequences. He looked at the figures flying across the sky and sneered. Very well. Since that's the case, well, just sit back and watch the show. Let's see if the Supreme Tower regrets it. He then disappeared along with the black-robed man. Tonight was destined to be a restless night. The 9th floor master brought Yi Xian and the others to the Supreme Tower. He went to the window and looked around. All unrelated personnel, leave immediately. His voice boomed like thunder. Soon, those around the Supreme Tower fled. Yi Xian looked at this scene. I'm sorry for causing trouble for the Supreme Tower. The 9th floor master shook his head. If I was afraid of trouble, I wouldn't have brought you here. From now on, your enemies are the enemies of the Supreme Tower. Yi Xian nodded. Thank you for your kindness. I will never forget it. The 9th floor master laughed. You're too kind, young friend Yi Xian. It is my honor to have you, a person of great potential, as a friend of the Supreme Tower. Now, let's not waste any more time. Dealing with those Kangmu dogs is our top priority. Yi Xian replied, all right. After clearing the area, the 9th floor master shouted, activate the formation. His voice fell, and a blue beam of light suddenly shot up from the first floor of the Supreme Tower, enveloping the entire building. At this moment, the entire Supreme Tower was encased in this blue light. Furthermore, countless fine golden runes appeared on the blue light, like tiny snakes, constantly circling the Supreme Tower. Inside the Supreme Tower, Jiang Yuqian watched the 9th floor master and Yi Xian. I never thought the Supreme Tower would activate the 9 heavens formation just to protect young friend Yi Xian. Truly unexpected. Mo Yunqi was curious. He asked Jiang Yuqian, Senior, what's so special about this 9 heavens formation? Jiang Yuqian explained, activating the 9 heavens formation once requires at least high-grade spirit stones. And maintaining it also requires at least spirit stones. Mo Yunqi was stunned. So expensive. I never thought the Supreme Tower was so rich. The 9th floor master chuckled, material possessions are nothing. What's important is that we've gained the friendship of a potential Jianxian. Even spending millions of spirit stones is worth it. He then looked at Yi Xian and hesitated. Young friend Yi Xian, when do you plan to go to? Before he could finish, a powerful force suddenly struck the Supreme Tower. The entire building shook violently. Everyone turned to look. Outside the Supreme Tower, a group of people had appeared. The leader was the white-robed old man from Da Yun Kangmu Academy. Beside him were Li Xianchang and the black-robed man. Behind them stood a dozen more people. These people were all WANFA realm experts. A dozen WANFA realm experts. This kind of lineup was probably the first time it had appeared in Jiang country. Seeing this lineup, everyone inside the Supreme Tower turned pale. Even the 9th floor master's face was grim. This doesn't look good. Outside the Supreme Tower, Li Xianchang shouted, 9th floor master, since your Supreme Tower wants to be our enemy, then let's all die together. His voice fell, and he rose into the air and struck the Supreme Tower with his palm. With a boom, the Supreme Tower shook violently, and cracks appeared on the light barrier. The 9th floor master shouted, "Attack!" Countless beams of light suddenly shot out from the light barrier enveloping the Supreme Tower. Each beam carried a powerful force. In the air, Li Xianchang narrowed his eyes. He turned to the white-robed old man and the others. What are you waiting for? Attack together, just in case. The white-robed old man and the others exchanged glances. The next moment, they charged towards the Supreme Tower. The powerful beams of light almost instantly disappeared without a trace. At the same time, several powerful forces slammed into the Supreme Tower. With a loud crash, the entire Supreme Tower collapsed. Countless debris and rubble filled the air. Li Xianchang laughed. This is the fate of those who oppose our Kangmu Academy. Amidst the rubble, Yi Xian and the others were buried. Suddenly, Li Xianchang appeared in front of Yi Xian and stepped on his hand. He sneered, Yi Xian, let me tell you something. Not joining my Kangmu Academy was the biggest mistake of your life. Even at death's door, you still dare to talk back. Li Xianchang raised his left hand, and a powerful pressure instantly enveloped Yi Xian. With a groan, Yi Xian spat out a mouthful of blood. Hearing Yi Xian's cry, Mo Yunqi and the others tried to help. Li Xianchang glanced at Mo Yunqi and Bai Zi beside Yi Xian. The next moment, his figure flashed. With two bangs, Bai Zi and Mo Yunqi were sent flying, hundreds of feet away. As soon as they landed, they both spat out mouthfuls of blood. Li Xianchang looked at Yi Xian, will make you watch your friends die before your eyes. He then kicked Jiangji away as well. Seeing this, Yi Xian's eyes turned bloodshot. He roared, let them go. A powerful fighting spirit suddenly erupted from his body. Not only fighting spirit, but also a Jian Yi. The emergence of these two forces actually resisted Li Xuanchang's pressure. The next moment, he charged towards Li Xianchang with all his might. Yi Xian used his strongest move, Annihilation. Li Xianchang scoffed. This move again. I've seen enough of it. He raised his right hand and struck. Yi Xian was sent flying, crashing into the ground. Li Xianchang looked at Yi Xian and sneered. What? Don't you have some other backer? Call them out. Call them. He kicked Yi Xian again. At this moment, a low hum echoed. Li Xuanchang's attack was blocked. He turned to look at the sky. Everyone looked towards the sky. In the distant sky, a bright moon hung high. Beneath the moon stood a woman in white. The woman had long black hair and her hands were clasped behind her back. Between her fingers were a black and a white dagger. The woman in white looked at Yi Xian. To be beaten like this by such trash. You've embarrassed me. Yi Xian looked up and called out weakly, Senior. Seeing the woman in white appear, the 9th floor master became excited. She's here. She's finally here. Jiang Yuqian was puzzled. Who is she? The 9th floor master looked like a sycophant. Yi Xian's master, no way. At this moment, the woman in white suddenly extended her right hand. Come. In an instant, all the trees in the city trembled. Then, the leaves of those trees shot up into the sky. In a blink of an eye, the entire sky above the city was filled with leaves. The next moment, these leaves converged into a single point, and formed a sword, which then gently landed in the woman's hand. In the palm of my hand, everything is within my grasp. At this moment, a woman's voice echoed throughout the area. No, his backer is here. As she spoke, her fingers flickered, and a green sword zipped through the air. In an instant, the heads of the surrounding myriad law realm experts dropped to the ground. The white-robed elder from Grand Cloud Sangmu Academy also. The sky was splattered with immortal blood, and the remaining disciples. Li Xianchang trembled with fear, his words slurred, SSSSR. Senior. Please. He watched as the surrounding myriad law realm experts continued to die, his face tense, sweat poured from him. He turned to Yi Xian in the sky. I didn't expect, there really is an immortal realm expert behind you. What have I done? I must join the immortal realm expert. Is there still a way out for me? He thought, since I can't escape death, let's all die together. He then charged towards. At this moment, a green light flashed, and a protective barrier around Yi Xian was cut down. The woman in plain clothes appeared behind him. Weren't you going to surrender? Li Xianchang stared at the woman, then suddenly forced a smile. I can't be killed. No? The woman interrupted him. The green sword pierced Li Xuanchang's chest. Li Xuanchang's body fell straight down, but his soul was held in place by the green sword. As a soul, Li Xianchang looked at the woman in disbelief. Soul separation. How is this possible? The woman looked at Yi Xian. If you're not dead, get up and learn. Yi Xian, who was lying on the ground, twitched and slowly crawled up, covered in wounds. As he got up, the woman said, How does it feel to be bullied? Yi Xian replied hoarsely, Not good. The woman said calmly, You will be bullied again in the future. Remember this. Temper is useless unless it's backed by strength. If you have a temper, it should be like mine. I can kill whoever I want. The woman's right hand flickered. The green sword pierced Li Xuanchang's soul. Li Xianchang completely vanished. At the same time, 9th Elder looked at the woman in the sky and laughed. I knew it. I knew Yi Xian had someone backing him. And it's a damn immortal realm expert. He patted Jiang Yuishan's shoulder. Old Jiang, do you regret protecting Yi Xian? The woman looked at Yi Xian. Feel better? Yi Xian nodded. The woman said, This technique is called Soul Lock. As the name suggests, it targets the soul. If the opponent is a soul, its power increases several times. Even if it's not a soul, it can lock onto their soul. Many people have strong bodies but weak souls. Soul Lock targets this weakness. It cultivates the formless. Yi Xian nodded. Learn it well. Yi Xian noticed the red-haired young man and asked, Senior, why didn't you kill him? The woman pointed into the distance, in waiting for him to call for reinforcements. As the woman finished speaking, powerful auras suddenly erupted from the distance. 2 elders, one in black and one in white, appeared. The black-robed elder saw the corpse of the white-robed elder and his expression turned cold. He said, Who killed my Grand Cloud Sangmu Academy? Elder. How dare you? The red-haired young man pointed at the woman. It's her. It's her. The black-robed elder misunderstood. He snorted, You're this Yi, whatever Xian. The woman interrupted, Do I not look like an expert? Yi Xian was speechless. I don't dare answer that question. The black-robed elder sneered, You dare act like an expert in front of us. He'll send you to hell. He then charged towards the woman. The woman said, Ignorant fool. She raised her hand, gathering a powerful force, then flung it into the air. The black-robed elder's face changed drastically. A green sword beam descended from the sky, piercing him. The white-robed elder saw his companion severely injured, and flew into a rage. He waved his hand, summoning a purple tornado, towards the woman. The tornado was incredibly powerful, and even Yi Xian was stunned. The woman shielded Yi Xian, then snapped her fingers. A sword seal appeared, and the tornado was extinguished. The remaining force sent the white-robed elder and the red-haired young man flying. The white-robed elder coughed up blood. Seeing the green sword, he realized his mistake and begged for mercy. The woman calmly asked, "Where is your academy?" The white-robed elder pointed to the right. "Senior, it's over there." The woman nodded. As the white-robed elder was about to speak, the green sword pierced him. She then pointed to the right. With a whoosh, a sword beam shot into the sky. The green sword carried the white-robed elder's corpse and vanished in the distance. The sword and the corpse traveled across the vast Grand Cloud Empire. That night, the tranquil Grand Cloud Empire was suddenly pierced by a beam of light. The beam, like a meteor, streaked across the sky. Finally, it arrived at the heart of the Grand Cloud Empire. Countless experts looked up at the beam in shock. Under the watchful eyes of countless people, the sword carrying the corpse arrived at a towering mountain, the home of Tsangmu Academy. The entire academy was in an uproar. Everyone looked up at the sword. The stronger experts of Tsangmu Academy were terrified, but no one dared to interfere. Finally, the sword carrying the white-robed elder's corpse landed in front of the main hall on the highest peak of Tsangmu Academy. With a boom, the entire mountain shook violently. A voice echoed from the sky above Tsangmu Academy. "If Tsangmu Academy is, feel free to challenge me. I am invincible. We can fight whenever. I'll beat you till you crawl." Yi Xian's eyes widened. "I'll crawl too." The woman looked at Ninth Elder and Jiang Yuqian, then flicked her fingers. Two beams of light entered their bodies. They both trembled. The woman said, "This light can purge all impurities. Within a year, you will reach a new level." The two bowed, "Thank you." The woman then looked at Ji Angji and the others. Mo Yunqi had expected some reward, but the woman simply said, "Too weak." The three were disheartened. "Senior, that hurts." The woman patted Yi Xian's shoulder. "All right, I'm going back. Don't call me unless the sky falls." She vanished. Everyone quickly bid farewell to the woman. Yi Xian walked up to Ninth Elder and Jiang Yuqian and bowed deeply. "Thank you, seniors." Yi Xian is eternally grateful. Ninth Elder and Jiang Yuqian hurriedly helped Yi Xian up. "You're too kind. We should be thanking you. With your help, we will reach a new level in 6 months. This is a great opportunity for us." Jiang Yuqian nodded. "What are your plans now?" "If you don't have any, stay at the Imperial Palace to recover. You and Xiaoju are friends, so it's convenient." Yi Xian shook his head. "I appreciate your kindness, seniors, but I plan to rebuild Kanglan Academy." Ji Anji looked at Yi Xian. Mo Yunqi and Bai Zi agreed, with admiration. Ninth Elder nodded. "Xiaoju, rebuilding Kanglan Academy will require many resources. If you need anything, come to First Elder. We will do our best to help you." Jiang Yuqian also nodded. "I'll handle the manpower. I'll send people from the Imperial Palace to help." Yi Xian bowed deeply again to both of them. Chipo and Yuan Lai were discussing current events. In the main hall of Grand Cloud Empire's Tsangmu Academy, sat a middle-aged man in a dark white robe, holding a book. He exuded an elegant aura. This was Mu Qingxian, the dean of Tsangmu Academy. On both sides of the hall stood 8 or 9 people. Men and women, all myriad law realm experts. The elders were engaged in a heated discussion. One elder said, "The ancestral tablet of our founding dean is enshrined in this hall. How can we tolerate such desecration?" Another elder retorted, "It was Jian Xian." Jian Xian. The first elder continued, "So what? He killed our Tsangmu Academy's protector and hung his body in our main hall. This is blatant disrespect. What is Tsangmu?" The other elder continued to argue, "No one in the empire can defeat Jian Xian. Attacking him rashly is suicide." Mu Qingxian finally spoke, "Enough. He Lao is right. If we don't kill Jian Xian, everyone will say that Tsangmu Academy is incompetent. Bai Lao is also right. Jian Xian is not someone we can deal with. What should we do?" He sighed heavily. Suddenly, Mu Qingxian looked towards the entrance. A figure appeared. A man said, "Dean Mu, I wonder if you're interested in joining forces." Seeing the man in black, the elders' expressions changed. They recognized him as An Jian, the leader of Qingzhi's most notorious assassin organization. Mu Qingxian stood up. "I didn't expect the esteemed An Jian to grace us with his presence." An Jian didn't bother with pleasantries. "You'll get straight to the point. Will you join forces or not?" Mu Qingxian gripped his book. "What are your terms? Even if we join forces, we may not be his match." An Jian chuckled. "Dean Mu underestimates himself. He's just an injured immortal realm expert. Together, we can kill him." especially since He's injured. Mu Qingxian narrowed his eyes, injured, and Jian explained, if he wasn't injured, he would have come himself. He wouldn't allow us to gather here. Why would he appear in Qingju? There must be a special reason. He must be injured. Mu Qingxian said softly, this is just your speculation. And Jian sneered, he didn't just kill one of your protectors, he destroyed Sangmu Academy's 1,000-year reputation. If he lives, Sangmu Academy will never hold its head high. Mu Qingxian clenched his fists. And Jian was right. Sangmu Academy's reputation couldn't be ruined by him. After a moment, Mu Qingxian said, send word to the Azure Bamboo Sword Sect, Qingju, Jian Country, and Kanglan Academy. Kanglan Academy was now in ruins. Not only were the buildings destroyed, but half of Kanglan Mountain was gone. Yi Xian, Mo Yunqi, and Bai Zi arrived at the ruins. Yi Xian searched the debris and soon found a wine gourd. Ji Laertes wine gourd. Mo Yunqi and Bai Zi's eyes welled up with tears. Ji Anji lowered his head, his hands clenched tightly. Yi Xian held the wine gourd tightly. After a moment, he hung it up. He looked at the ruins and remained silent for a while, then knelt down. Mo Yunqi and the others followed suit. The four of them knelt before the ruins and bowed their heads in silence. Yi Xian gripped the wine gourd, his eyes filled with determination. Ji Lao, I will take care of them. I will also bring back the students from Kang Mountain Path, and I will take them to the Central Divine Prefecture's main academy, fulfilling your final wish. He stood up. Suddenly, without warning, Yi Xian's face pale turned. He collapsed to the ground. Mo Yunqi and the others were shocked. They rushed to Yi Xian's side. Some time later, Yi Xian lay in bed, his fingers twitching. Ji Anji rushed to his side. You're awake. How are you feeling? Yi Xian opened his eyes. Ji Anji was stunned. Your eyes. Yi Xian's eyes were completely empty. Yi Xian looked around, seeing only darkness. Is it still dark? Why can't I see anything? The woman's voice rang out, this is the price. Use your sword, as your eyes. Yi Xian realized the woman was beside him. He turned. The woman continued, every time I act, it puts a huge strain on the Jiayu Tower. And this burden falls on you, its master. Yi Xian was silent for a moment. You mean? I am blind. The woman nodded, yes. The tower would have taken your life, but your body was strong enough to survive. However, your eyes were the weakest point. They couldn't withstand the backlash. Ji Anji asked, Senior, you're so powerful, why didn't you help him? The woman shook her head, I wanted to, but it's not that simple. If I interfere, I have to suppress the tower. And if I suppress it forcibly, the seal will shatter, and Yi Xian will die instantly. Ji Anji was worried, but he's blind now. How will he live? Yi Xian smiled, it's all right. I can still fight. The woman said, don't be so optimistic. I can give you eyes. Yi Xian's face lit up with hope. Really? The woman explained, you've lost your eyes, but you still have your sword. From now on, your sword will be your eyes. Cultivate sword eyes. Sword eyes. Yi Xian was confused. Ji Anji was also puzzled. The woman said, your body is a sword. Cultivating sword eyes is natural. A sword is your heart, a sword is your eyes. You will no longer see the world with your eyes, but with your heart. Only then will you see its true nature. You're not there yet, but you can start working towards it. With sword eyes, your eyes will be able to kill. Yi Xian understood. He still needed to find his sister, fulfill his promise to Anlanxiu, and rebuild Kanglan Academy. He had much to do. He couldn't give up. He bowed to the woman, Senior, please teach me. The woman said, the training is arduous, beyond what most can endure. Are you sure you can handle it? Yi Xian shook his head. I'm not afraid of pain, I'm afraid of never seeing the people I want to see again. The woman was silent for a moment. All right. I'll teach you a technique. Whether you succeed depends on you. She pointed at Yi Xian's forehead, and a surge of energy entered his mind. Yi Xian's consciousness, along with the woman's, appeared in a mysterious space. 2 scrolls floated before him. Senior, the woman said, the technique is soul lock, the sword is soul edge. The inscriptions on the scrolls seemed to come alive, and flew towards Yi Xian. As they approached, they transformed into 2 swords and pierced Yi Xian's eyes. He screamed in pain. Blood streamed from his eyes as if they were being sliced by knives. The woman watched, her face showing a hint of pity. If it's too much, tell me. If you give up, you'll stop. Despite the agony, Yi Xian remained firm. I won't give up. I won't. He gritted his teeth. Suddenly, a golden light flashed in Yi Xian's eyes. He screamed again. After a while, Yi Xian woke up. He opened his eyes and saw a blurry image of the woman. The woman looked at him. How does it feel to see again? Yi Xian realized he could see. A smile finally appeared on his face. The woman said, go and rest. But remember, the sealed experts in the Jiayu Tower are growing restless. To prevent them from breaking free, you must find the second Dao room quickly. Your path lies not only in the outside world, but within the Jiayu Tower. You must become stronger. The woman's voice faded away. Yi Xian clasped his hands. Don't worry, senior. After I rebuild Kanglan Academy, you'll set off to find the Dao rune. You'll cultivate diligently and won't rely on you anymore. You'll become strong on my own. Because I know strength is everything. The woman simply replied, good, you'll be waiting. Mo Yunqi and Bai Zi returned from hunting. They anxiously asked Ji Angji, is Yi Xian? Ji Angji was silent. Mo Yunqi became even more worried. What happened? Ji Angji slowly said, his eyes are gone. Mo Yunqi and Bai Zi's faces fell. How? At that moment, Yi Xian opened his eyes. Ji Angji saw that his eyes were no longer empty but had regained their light. He was overjoyed. Mo Yunqi and Bai Zi were equally relieved. Yi Xian explained, Master's method worked. Fine now. He got out of bed and playfully punched Mo Yunqi and Bai Zi. The three of them started to roughhouse. Yi Xian then led them outside. Ji Angji watched them, tears streaming down his face. Qianqi, Grandpa, please protect them, protect Kanglan. Time passed. With the help of First Elder and the Jian country imperial family, the reconstruction of Kanglan Academy progressed rapidly. Thousands of people worked tirelessly on the mountain every day, and First Elder covered almost all the material costs. They spared no expense to win over Yi Xian and his friends. Yi Xian naturally wouldn't refuse their goodwill. Having a friend was always better than having an enemy, and Kanglan Academy needed their support in Jian country. On a giant rock on the mountain peak, Yi Xian and his three friends gathered around a pile of treasures. Most of them were high-grade spirit treasures, and some were even famous artifacts. They had obtained these from the myriad law realm experts they had defeated, as well as from the secret realm. Yi Xian said, choose what you need. Well, keep some of the best ones and auction off the rest. Mo Yunqi chose a pair of top-grade black boots. Bai Zi picked a pair of black armbands. The armbands were made of an unknown material and covered in runes. They were also top-grade. Mo Yunqi put on the boots and immediately floated into the air. Amazing. These will increase my speed by 3 or 4 times. Even a god would have trouble catching me now. Bai Zi put on the armbands. They tightened around his arms, and the runes began to glow as if they were alive. He looked excitedly at the others. There's rune power inside. These should significantly increase my strength. Yi Xian looked at Ji Angji. What about you? Haven't chosen yet. Ji Angji shook his head. Nothing particularly suitable. Yi Xian nodded. You'll find you a good sword later. Ji Angji nodded. Yi Xian put away the remaining treasures and addressed the others. From now on, Ji Angji will oversee the construction of Kanglan Academy. Mo Yunqi and Bai Zi will go down the mountain to recruit students and establish connections. From now on, Kanglan Academy students must cultivate both their strength and their minds. Mo Yunqi raised his hands, cultivate both strength and mind. Does that mean studying? Yi Xian nodded, yes. We will not only train our students' strength but also their character and intellect. I don't want Kanglan students to be mindless brutes. Mo Yunqi nodded vigorously, right. Not like those bastards from Sangmu Academy. Ji Angji agreed, a strong heart and a sharp mind, that's what Grandpa always taught. Yi Xian turned to Ji Angji, Angji, I have a favor to ask. Ji Angji asked, what is it? Yi Xian said, I want you to choose a good location to build a memorial hall. Once it's built, well, bring back the students from Kang Mountain Path. They can go home yet. Ji Angji was moved and nodded. Half an hour later, Yi Xian left Kanglan Mountain and went to a First Elder branch. Inside, Ninth Elder was waiting. Yi Xian took out the treasures from the Jiayu Tower, Senior, I'd like you to auction these off. Ninth elder was surprised. These are rare treasures. You need money. Yi Xian nodded. We can't rely entirely on first elder and the imperial family to rebuild Kanglan Academy. We also need cultivation resources, and those cost money. Ninth elder thought for a moment, then nodded. These are not ordinary items. Some are extremely valuable. Auctioning them here won't fetch a good price. How about this? You leave them with me. You'll have our appraisers evaluate them, and then first elder will buy them and send them to Qingju for auction. We won't cheat you on the price. If the auction price exceeds our offer, we'll give you the difference. How does that sound? Yi Xian considered, then nodded. All right. Thank you, senior. Ninth elder smiled. You're too polite. He took out a black card and handed it to Yi Xian. This is a gift from second elder. It's first elder's highest level VIP card. With this, any elder below fifth elder must greet you respectfully. You can also mobilize our experts 3 times and receive a discount on all purchases. Yi Xian was puzzled. Second elder. I've never met him. Why would he give me such a valuable gift? Our higher-ups know about your relationship with Lingyi. Him now, a fifth elder. Yi Xian cupped his hands. Congratulations, senior. And thank you for first elder's generosity. I, Yi Xian, will certainly remember this. 10 days later, with the support of the Jiang country imperial family and first elder, Kanglan Academy was rebuilt at an incredible pace. A magnificent main hall stood tall. Grandpa would be so happy to see the academy rebuilt, and so beautifully. Yi Xian nodded. He would be. Angji, from now on, this 1,000-year-old mountain behind Kanglan Academy will be called Jiyu Mountain. Ji Angji was taken aback, her eyes sparkling. All right, Jiyu Mountain. Mo Yunqi came over. Yi Xian, everything is ready. Should we leave now? Yi Xian looked into the distance. Let's go. Let's bring them home. Sangmu Academy will pay for Ji Lao's death. With blood. They headed straight for Sangmu Academy. Yi Xian and his friends left Kanglan Academy and headed straight for Sangmu Academy. They soon arrived at the foot of Kang Mountain. Yi Xian looked up and shouted, Sangmu Academy, come out and fight. An elder descended from the mountain. It was Mo Song, Sangmu Academy elder. He glared at Yi Xian. Yi Xian. You've gone too far. You'll have your life. Yi Xian chuckled. I never thought I'd be on the receiving end of such words. He flicked his wrist and lunged forward, with a burst of sword energy. Mo Song leaped down from above. In a single exchange, sword energy flashed. Mo Song's hands were severed. Mo Song stared at his severed hands in disbelief. Such power. Is this the strength of the immortal realm expert behind him? Just then, a figure flashed across the field. Mo Song's head flew off in an instant. Yi Xian, without even looking at Mo Song's corpse, directly led the other 3 towards Kanglan Academy. Soon, the 4 of them entered the Kang Mountain path. Beside the path, many corpses lay scattered. Looking at these corpses, Ji Anji's eyes welled up with tears. These are all heroic students of Kanglan Academy. In life, they were all promising young men. Now, they've been brutally murdered by vile people. Mo Yunqi cursed furiously. Those damned bastards. They will pay for this sooner or later. You'll go and destroy their sect and bring their heads back. Mo Yunqi and Bai Zi declared. At this moment, Yi Xian stopped them. Stop. I want that Sangmu Academy students to personally escort them back to Kanglan. Do as you wish. Your choice. Hurry. The 4 quickly ran up the mountain. After a while, Kumu arrived with a group of Sangmu Academy disciples. Yi Xian looked at Kumu and the others. Listen up, everyone. If you want to live, kneel down and escort the Kanglan students back. Otherwise, your fate will be the same as those on the Kang Mountain path. That Sangmu students' expressions changed drastically. Kneeling. This was utterly humiliating. Kumu roared, Yi Xian, if you seek death, then we shall fight. Yi Xian suddenly interrupted Kumu. Want to fight? Since you want to fight, then let's fight. His voice fell, and he charged forward. In an instant, Yi Xian arrived above Kumu's head. With a single sword strike, Kumu fell to his knees, his face filled with disbelief. Impressive, Yi Xian. I didn't expect the fate of Sangmu Academy to lie in your hands. Kumu didn't finish his sentence before he died. Seeing their dean die, the remaining Sangmu students thought of escaping. Just then, a Sangmu disciple shouted, kill Yi Xian. Avenge the dean. Other Sangmu students echoed the call. Yi Xian sneered. Seeking your own deaths. He unleashed a powerful sword attack. Numerous Sangmu students were instantly killed. However, one Sangmu student charged at Yi Xian. At this moment, Ji Angji appeared beside Yi Xian and killed him. Bai Zi and Mo Yunqi also joined the fight, slaughtering the Sangmu students. When all the stronger Sangmu disciples were dead, the rest were massacred. Heads flew everywhere. The scene was incredibly bloody. This day was a nightmare for Sangmu Academy. Soon, only 10 Sangmu students remained. Yi Xian walked up to them. Want to live? The Sangmu students nodded frantically. Yes, we want to live. Yi Xian pointed his sword at them. There are Kanglan students' corpses down the mountain. You will carry them home, kneeling. The last one to arrive, dies. The terrified Sangmu students scrambled down the Kang mountain path. Yi Xian watched this scene. Sangmu Academy was finished. Ji Anji's face was filled with grief. This was the consequence of their ruthlessness. Mo Yunqi agreed. Then, Yi Xian turned to the others. Sangmu Academy is ours now. Everything inside is ours. Let's go and take it all. He headed inside, followed by the other three. They looted Sangmu Academy. When Yi Xian and the others returned to Jiyu Mountain, that Sangmu students had also carried the Kanglan students' bodies back. Before Yi Xian and the others were corpses, each horribly mutilated. One could imagine the treatment they suffered at Sangmu Academy. Beside them were the Sangmu students. Yi Xian hadn't spoken, so they naturally didn't dare move to Jiyu Mountain. Suddenly, Yi Xian said, "Get lost." The students scattered like frightened birds, fleeing down the mountain. Yi Xian stabbed his sword into the ground, creating a small pit. Bury them here. Let them accompany Elder Ji. He won't be lonely. Mo Yunqi nodded. He'll erect a tombstone with their names on it. Let everyone in Kanglan Academy remember them. Looking at the corpses, Ji Anji's tears flowed again. After so many years, father, elder Le, senior brothers, junior brothers, you can finally rest in peace. Night. Kanglan Academy's newly built Grand Hall. Inside, nearly 100 spirit tablets were arranged, Elder Ji's being the most prominent. Before the tablets, Ji Anji knelt. Just then, someone entered. It was Yi Xian. He sat beside Ji Anji, facing the spirit tablets. You've been kneeling here all day. Aren't you tired? Ji Anji shook his head. I'm not tired. I haven't eaten yet. Yi Xian sat on another cushion. You should still eat. You'll keep watch tonight. Ji Anji's mood was somber. It's thanks to you all. Otherwise, I wouldn't be alive. Yi Xian replied. It's thanks to Elder Ji who took me and Linger in. We'd still be wandering if not for him. He turned to Ji Anji. Sister Ji. Let's fulfill Elder Ji's wish together. Let's go to the Central Divine Prefecture Academy. Ji Anji looked at Yi Xian. Do you know how much effort and time it takes to get there? Yi Xian replied, I'm not afraid of hardship or bloodshed. My only fear is not being able to fight alongside you all. Alright, let's go together. None of us can be missing. One day, the owner of the first auction house arrived at Kanglan Academy. Kanglan Academy now had grand halls, far exceeding its previous scale. The former Kanglan Academy wasn't a proper academy at all. Only now, with this scale, could it truly be considered one. Inside Kanglan Academy, Yi Xian greeted the owner. Senior, please have a seat. The owner smiled. No need for formalities. Today, I've come to bring you something. He took out a golden card. Young Yi Xian, this is the proceeds from selling the Heaven and Earth treasure token you brought to the first auction house. Do you know how much is inside? Yi Xian shook his head. I can't guess. Senior, please tell me. The owner laughed. 360 million spirit stones. Yi Xian's hand trembled slightly. Million spirit stones. The owner smiled. Do you think it's a lot? Yi Xian nodded seriously. The owner shook his head. You're wrong. It's not much at all. Do you know how much it costs to advance to all-knowing realm and beyond? He held up 2 fingers. 200 million spirit stones for each level. Cultivation, weapons, and techniques all require massive amounts of spirit stones. Reaching the all-knowing realm requires a fortune that even a small nation can't afford. Yi Xian couldn't help but frown. It seemed his master's inheritance really was insufficient. The owner laughed heartily. Is Dr. An all right? Your master is truly admirable. He seemed to remember something. Oh right, young friend. The Qing Prefecture First Auction House sent me a message. Apparently, Jianxian and Sangmu Academy have joined forces to eliminate you. Yi Xian was startled. Even a sword immortal couldn't suppress them. The owner shook his head. They can suppress Great Cloud, but not the Central Divine Prefecture. Sword immortals are strong, but not invincible. So, be careful. Young friend. But don't worry. I've been instructed that if you need help, just say the word, and the First Auction House will send all-knowing realm experts to assist you. Yi Xian bowed. Thank you for the warning, senior. If there's any more news, please inform me. The owner nodded in agreement. Great Cloud Realm, Qing Prefecture, Sangmu Academy, before the Haoran Hall. Two elders stood silently, one in white robes, the other in black. They looked remarkably alike. Both were looking up at the green sword above the Haoran Hall. Behind them stood Mu Qingxian. After a long while, the white-robed elder softly said, "This person's swordsmanship, although exquisite, lacks sword intent, or rather, the sword intent is hidden. This means he may not be a sword immortal." Mu Qingxian and the others looked up at the white-robed elder. Beside him, the black-robed elder nodded. "We know almost all the sword immortals in the Central Divine Prefecture. We've never heard of this person. He shouldn't be a sword immortal." Mu Qingxian breathed a sigh of relief. "That's great. If he's not a sword immortal, then we don't need to be so cautious." The white-robed elder suddenly turned. "The person from Anjian is here." In the distance, an elder floated on a bamboo stalk. He wore a purple gold robe, surrounded by faint ghostly shadows, looking quite sinister. Soon, the elder landed before Mu Qingxian and the others. He glanced at the white and black-robed elders below the Haoran Hall and smiled faintly. "So, it's the two elders of Sangmu Academy." The white-robed elder bowed slightly. "Greetings, senior." The long-robed elder chuckled. "You should know the rules of Anjian. Only dead men know our names." The white-robed elder didn't ask further. "Shall we depart now?" The long-robed elder smiled. "Wait a moment," the white-robed elder asked. "For what?" The long-robed elder looked at the sky. "A sword immortal is coming." Hearing that a sword immortal was coming, Mu Qingxian was overjoyed. "Excellent. With a sword immortal's help, that fake sword immortal will surely die." The long-robed elder suddenly said, "If we successfully kill him, how will we divide the spoils?" "We are contributing a sword immortal." The black-robed elder answered, "Brother, how do you want to divide them?" The long-robed elder smiled. "And Jian only wants his body. The primordial golden elixir will belong to Sangmu Academy. If he has other treasures, well, split them equally." "How about that?" The white and black-robed elders fell silent. Mu Qingxian was eager. "As long as that fake sword immortal is killed, it will restore our Sangmu Academy's reputation." "I agree to your terms." The long-robed elder laughed. "Good. Refreshing. Once the sword immortal arrives, well, set off." Qing Prefecture, Kanglan Academy, Back Mountain. At the foot of a mountain, Baizi was punching the cliff face. The bottom of the cliff was already battered beyond recognition. After about half an hour, Baizi roared and successfully broke through to the all-knowing realm. At this moment, Mo Yunqi's voice echoed through the mountains. He was moving extremely fast, like a phantom. Baizi suddenly shouted, "Mo Furball, come down. A Grandmaster wants to challenge you." Mo Yunqi paused mid-air, looking around. Where was the Grandmaster? He suddenly had a bad feeling. Could Baizi have broken through to the all-knowing realm? At this moment, Baizi charged at Mo Yunqi and punched him. Caught off guard, Mo Yunqi was sent flying, but he managed to mitigate the force of the blow mid-air. His speed was astonishing. Suddenly, a figure appeared. "Young friend, run." The voice was filled with urgency. It was the owner of the First Auction House. Mo Yunqi was confused. "Senior, what's wrong?" The owner didn't answer directly. "Where is young Yi Xian?" Yi Xian opened his eyes and walked out from the woods. He looked at the owner. "What happened?" The owner's expression was grave. "Young friend, the Qing Prefecture First Auction House received news. Experts from Sangmu Academy and Anjian have arrived in Qing Prefecture. They are likely from the Central Divine Prefecture." Yi Xian became tense. "How many are there?" The owner shook his head. "I'm not sure. But they are likely only targeting you. As for the rest of you, you should hide if you can." Mo Yunqi became indignant. "How can we do that? Senior got involved because of us. How can we abandon you?" "Well, fight them. We're not afraid to die." Baizi shared the same sentiment. Just then, a giant black vortex appeared in the sky. The owner's face changed drastically. They are here so fast. The figures emerged from the vortex. They were all all-knowing realm experts. Yi Xian and the others were stunned. In the air, the white-robed elder of Sangmu Academy looked at the owner. Owner of the first auction house. The owner looked at the white-robed elder. May I ask your name? The white-robed elder replied coldly. Why does the first auction house care? Is he under your protection? The owner hesitated. The first auction house wanted to support Yi Xian, but only if Yi Xian asked for their help. They wouldn't act rashly otherwise. Yi Xian stepped forward. Senior, you've helped us enough. We'll handle this ourselves. You can go back. The owner hesitated. Yi Xian said firmly, please leave. The owner sighed. If you need anything, young friend, just say the word, and the first auction house will lend its full support. He then vanished. Yi Xian turned to the four in the air. Listen up, Sangmu Academy. If you want my master, you have to get through me first. In the air, the white-robed elder looked down at Yi Xian. His foundation is incredibly solid for his age. He has mastered both swordsmanship and battle techniques. And his physical body is incredibly strong. He's truly talented. With his strength, he could at least reach the top of the martial ranking. If he reaches the all-knowing realm, he might even reach the top. The black-robed elder nodded. He's rare in the Great Cloud Realm, even in the entire Qing Prefecture. His strength might surpass ours in the future. The Sword Immortal spoke. Let the child fight. I want to see what your master has taught you. Yi Xian felt insulted and roared, I said, get through me first. The white-robed elder didn't waste any words. Your master likes it when someone acts as a whetstone for him. Good. It'll help him refine his skills. He pressed his right hand downwards. A terrifying pressure, like a collapsing mountain, descended upon Yi Xian and the others. The three endured it, but their faces paled, and they could barely breathe. Their bodies felt like they were about to explode. However, they held on and refused to kneel. Yi Xian gritted his teeth. He wouldn't ask that mysterious woman for help so easily. He roared, and a power surged from within him, resisting the pressure. The white-robed elder was surprised. Two types of spirit energy. You confuse them so well. Good. He'll play with you. He pressed down again. The ground beneath Yi Xian and the others cracked. Mo Yunqi and Bai Ziyi were struggling to hold on. Yi Xian roared, bastard. He'll kill you. He shot into the air. The white-robed elder smirked and gently pushed down. Yi Xian was slammed into the ground, creating a deep crater. How arrogant, the white-robed elder scoffed. The disciple is so weak, I wonder how strong the master is. Suddenly, a voice echoed, you're looking for me. The white-robed elder and the others turned sharply. In the distance, a woman in plain clothes stood with her hands clasped behind her back. Two swords, one black and one white, floated beside her. Seeing her, the white-robed elder's expression turned serious. A sword immortal, the woman in plain clothes scoffed. Sword immortal. Unworthy of such a title. She looked at Yi Xian and the others on the ground. Watch carefully. This is true swordsmanship. Her voice fell, and she stretched out her left hand, palm facing upwards. The surrounding bamboo forest rustled, and the bamboo stalks shot up towards her, landing in her hand. Soon, a sword formed from countless bamboo leaves appeared in her hand. The white-robed elder and the others were shocked, especially the sword immortal. He had never seen or heard of such a technique. Yi Xian shook his head. I don't know. She's very mysterious. Bai Zi nodded. Indeed, above the bamboo forest, the woman pointed her sword at the four people. Come at me together. The sword immortal in the air suddenly said, I've heard of every sword immortal in the central divine prefecture. And you? The woman interrupted him. She flicked her wrist, and the bamboo sword shot towards the four. They moved to defend. The sword immortal drew his sword. He swung his sword, and countless sword beams and sword intent erupted like a volcano. This attack could shatter mountains and split the earth. Yi Xian and the others below were grim. If this attack landed on Jiu Mountain, the entire mountain would be destroyed. The sword immortal's attack collided with the bamboo sword, creating a deafening roar. The next moment, the bamboo sword pierced through the sword immortal's chest. Silence. The white-robed elder and the others were filled with disbelief and fear. A sword immortal was killed instantly. They finally understood that the woman wasn't a sword immortal. A sword immortal couldn't be killed so easily. Seeing the sword immortal killed, the long-robed elder's face darkened, and he attacked the woman. The bamboo sword flashed, piercing his heart. The white-robed elder and the bamboo-riding elder were terrified. 2 green swords appeared before them, preventing them from moving. The woman asked, "Who wants to die first?" The white-robed elder said, "We admit defeat. We're at your mercy." The woman sheathed her swords. "Next time you send anyone above all-knowing realm against them, we'll show you what true power is. Get lost." The 2 elders bowed. "Thank you for sparing our lives." They then turned and fled. After they left, the woman called Yi Xian over. "Do you know why I didn't kill them?" Yi Xian thought for a moment. "Are you worried they'll seek revenge?" The woman looked at Yi Xian as if he were a fool. She glanced at the sky. "Every time I act, it's a huge burden on you. If I had killed them, that broken tower wouldn't be able to withstand it. And neither would you." Yi Xian bowed. "Thank you, senior." The woman chuckled. "Gratitude is useless. The path of cultivation isn't walked for you, nor is it paved for you. It's walked by you alone. You chose this path, so you can only walk it yourself." Yi Xian's gaze hardened. "Don't worry, senior. I will work hard." The woman nodded. "Good. Also, that thing locked up on the 2nd floor, you'd best make her willingly follow you. Otherwise, you're both dead." She then vanished. Yi Xian thought, is she talking about that giant eye monster? It hasn't moved recently. He then called Mo Yunqi and Bai Zi to go home. Suddenly, Yi Xian's face paled, and he collapsed, convulsing. He knew the backlash was coming. Mo Yunqi and Bai Zi were shocked. "Yi Xian. Are you alright?" Yi Xian struggled to speak. Don't worry. I just need to sleep." He then passed out. The next day, at Kanglan Academy, Yi Xian stood before the mirror, adjusting his clothes. Yesterday's backlash made him realize he needed to improve his strength quickly. He wouldn't be able to withstand the backlash from Jianxian otherwise. Just then, Jiangji rushed in, relieved to see him awake. Otherwise, he pulled Yi Xian's hand and walked directly outside. Kanglan headmaster said, "Someone has finally come." 3 young men stood in front of Yi Xian's group. All 3 were dressed in wooden white robes, the official uniform of the academy. The leader said with a cold expression, "By the headmaster's order, you are forbidden from using the name of Kanglan Academy. From now on, the academy will not teach the techniques of Kanglan Academy. Violators will be killed without exception." Yi Xian's face darkened. "Anything else?" The leading man looked at Yi Xian disdainfully. "And where did this stray dog crawl out from? Since that old dog is with you, have him roll out here." But the one who responded was Yi Xian. The leading man was furious. He glared at Yi Xian. "Damn it, you dare to hit me." Yi Xian's hands were clasped behind his back. "Why wouldn't I dare? For old Ji's honor." The man was enraged. He was about to attack, but Bai Zi kicked him, flying, crashing into a pillar. The remaining 2 trembled in fear. They didn't expect this bald man to possess such strength. Unacceptable. Yi Xian looked at the 3 and declared coldly, "You are not welcome here. Either leave on your own, or I'll throw you out." The leader struggled to his feet. "We 3 are from the Central Divine Continent's main academy. How dare you treat you like this? What about it?" Mo Yunqi flashed before the man. "So, what if I do? Do you even know where this is?" The man retreated until he backed against a pillar. He stammered, What do you want to do?" "I'm telling you, if you dare lay a hand on me, the headmaster will definitely send someone to flatten this place." Mo Yunqi looked at him with disdain. "Oh, really? Let them come." He launched a red fist towards the man. Just as Mo Yunqi was about to hit him, Yi Xian spoke. Mo Yunqi, Mo Yunqi." Mo Yunqi turned to Yi Xian in confusion. "What's wrong?" Yi Xian stroked his chin. "Remember, we must lead with virtue." Mo Yunqi gave a dry laugh, inwardly scoffing. "Lead with virtue? who was the one who attacked first. But he still said, "All right, lead with virtue, you demonstrate." Yi Xian looked at the three from Kang Lan's main academy. "Go back and tell the headmaster we don't need any help. Likewise, you cannot interfere with us. From now on, you are you, and we are us, understand?" The leader snarled, "You're using the Kang Lan." Yi Xian grew impatient. "That was left by old Ji. I won't change it. If you want to change it, have someone capable enough take down the plaque above the gate. Now, all three of you, get out." Facing Yi Xian's dominance, the leader's face was dripping with cold sweat. After a moment, he snarled, "Let's go." With that, the other two supported him and walked out. But as they left, the leader threatened, "Next time we meet, you all will pay." Mo Yunqi looked at their backs worriedly. "Those guys will report back to Kang Lan's main academy. They'll come looking for trouble soon." Yi Xian said softly, "Let them come. It's inevitable. What we need to think about is not whether they'll come looking for trouble, but how to become stronger. As long as the four of us are strong enough, no one will dare to bother us." Mo Yunqi and the others agreed. After all, if they had the strength of Su Qian, then any trouble wouldn't be a problem. Yi Xian sat back down and continued, "Enough small talk. We officially start recruiting in 10 days. Before that, I want to know when you two think you can reach the Tongyu realm." Mo Yunqi and Ji looked at each other. They both raised a finger, but with different meanings. Mo Yunqi meant 1 month, while Ji meant 1 day. Yi Xian looked at Ji in surprise. "Ji, you're that close?" Ji chuckled. "I've always been close." Yi Xian shook his head and looked at Mo Yunqi. 8 days. You'll give you 8 days. If you don't reach the Tongyu realm, your chicken legs will all belong to Bai Zi. Mo Yunqi's face fell, while Bai Zi grinned. 10 days later, at the foot of Gu Mountain, countless people flocked towards Kang Lan Academy, all hoping to join. Now, there was no Kangmu Academy in Jian country anymore. For these young people who wanted to make a name for themselves, joining Kang Lan Academy was undoubtedly a good choice. After all, joining the academy meant having someone to teach them and also meant access to cultivation resources. Yi Xian himself had become the idol of many young people. When Yi Xian's group looked down from the mountain, they were stunned. None of them expected so many people. Beside Yi Xian, Mo Yunqi suddenly exclaimed, Yi bandit, there are so many people. Will we?" Yi Xian smiled. "More people is a good thing. It means we're famous. As for the test, you'll handle it, don't worry." Then, Yi Xian's expression changed. He saw a young girl among the crowd. The girl was about 17 or 18, dressed in a green robe. She had twin ponytails. Her hands were clenched, her teeth gritted, and sweat dripped down her face. Yi Xian frowned slightly. "Why is she here?" Ji noticed Yi Xian's change and asked, "What's wrong?" "Someone you know." Yi Xian said softly, "Yixing Yi family elder Yi Qing's granddaughter." Ji was puzzled. "Didn't you cut ties with the Yi family? Or does she not know that you're the dean of Kang Lan Academy?" Yi Xian said indifferently. "It doesn't matter. As long as she can get in on her own merit, it doesn't matter if she's a Yi." Soon, the time for Kang Lan Academy's recruitment began. Yi Xian walked onto the platform and announced, "Welcome everyone to Kang Lan Academy. I am the Dean, Yi Xian. Today, we will be recruiting 30 students. These 30 students will need to pass 3 tests. Those who succeed will immediately become students of our academy. Of course, if there are still others who can pass the tests after the quota is full, they can also join Kang Lan." The crowd below cheered excitedly. Did this mean they were expanding enrollment? Joining Kang Lan Academies, Yi Xian on the platform continued, "All right, the first test will be overseen by our instructor, Mo Yunqi. Now, he will explain it to everyone." Mo Yunqi looked at the sea of faces below, nervously, sweating. Yi Xian patted Mo Yunqi's shoulder reassuringly. "Don't be nervous. Just show them your usual bluster." Mo Yunqi was skeptical but did as he was told. He took a deep breath, suppressed his nervousness, and addressed the crowd, "Hello everyone. I am Mo. Mo. The crowd below instantly erupted in chatter. "Mo what? Mo something Mo." Mo Yunqi shouted loudly, all right. Enough talk. The first test begins. It's a grand melee. Those who are seriously injured or fall off the platform are eliminated. Begin." As he spoke, a formation appeared in the sky, and countless chi swords rained down from above. The examinees quickly took out their weapons to defend themselves. Yi Xian watched Yi Xing's skillful movements, a look of emotion in his eyes. The little girl who only knew a bit of trigram cat kung fu is now so skilled. Just then, the Li family head, Li Yu, and the Zhong family head, Zhong Li, came to Yi Xian. Dean Yi, it's been a long time. Yi Xian was also surprised. Family head Li, family head Zhong, why are you here? Li Yu and Zhong Li bowed respectfully. Li Yu spoke first, we brought our family's younger generation to participate in Kang Lan Academy's recruitment. Zhong Li added, indeed. Dean Ye's reputation is renowned throughout Qingcheng. The younger generation all see you as a role model. Yi Xian smiled modestly. You two overpraise me. If it weren't for you two protecting me during the Qingcheng Life or Death Arena battle, I wouldn't be here today. Seeing Yi Xian's humility, Li Yu and Zhong Li smiled wider. Dean Ye's abilities are extraordinary. It's no exaggeration. The corners of Yi Xian's mouth twitched. Right, which are your family's children? Li Yu pointed to two young men in the crowd. Those two. They both want to join Kang Lan Academy. Yi Xian nodded. All right, we'll remember them. But I can't guarantee their admission. Li Yu quickly said, if they can't get in on their own merit, then it's their own fault. Zhong Li also smiled, indeed. They admire you. If you give them special treatment, they won't want it. Yi Xian chuckled. The children of Qingcheng should have their own pride. Time passed quickly, and the examination was essentially over. A total of people had passed all 3 tests. In front of Kang Lan Academy, Mo Yunqi led the people to Yi Xian and the others. The people bowed respectfully to Yi Xian and said in unison, Greetings, Dean. Yi Xian nodded. Welcome to Kang Lan Academy. From now on, we are all family. We don't have dorms yet, but they will be arranged soon. Currently, there are only 4 instructors, the 4 of us. We will recruit more good instructors in the future. Now, everyone can choose their respective instructors based on your aptitude. The students below were immediately excited. Finally, they could choose their instructor. Just hang your nameplate on the person you choose. Upon hearing this, the students rushed towards their desired instructors. Yi Xian turned to Bai Zi. Have those people arrived? Bai Zi was about to speak when 3 figures approached from the distance. 2 elderly men and a woman. The woman sat in a wheelchair with white hair. Yi Xian recognized her. It was the national teacher, Lu Zhao Ji. Yi Xian arranged his clothes and then went forward to greet her. National teacher Lu, you. Lu Zhao Ji smiled faintly. Aren't you going to welcome me? Yi Xian smiled. Of course. But are you sure you want to be an instructor at Kang Lan Academy? Let me tell you, the pay isn't very high. Lu Zhao Ji chuckled lightly. No worries. She gestured to the 2 elderly men beside her. These 2 are Senior Mo Yuan and Senior Feng Lang, both experts in academics. Yi Xian, Bai Zi, and the others bowed deeply to the 2. Seeing their courtesy, the 2 elders smiled. They also returned the greeting. Yi Xian said, Seniors, National Teacher Lu, you will be responsible for the Academy's academic courses. As for what to teach, you can decide yourselves. Mo Yuan looked at Yi Xian. I have a question. Why arrange academic courses? As I understand it, Kangmu Academy and Kang Lan Academy have been martial academies for hundreds of years. Why academic courses? Yi Xian replied thoughtfully, a complete person shouldn't only focus on strength. Strength is important in this world, but being a good person is equally important. Mo Yuan and Feng Lang nodded. It's rare to see such thinking. Truly rare. The person National Teacher Lu values is indeed exceptional. Yi Xian smiled humbly. You flatter me. Then he turned to Lu Zhao Ji to express his thanks. Lu Zhao Ji chuckled. If you want to thank someone, thank the 9th princess. It's her request that brought me here. Yi Xian laughed heartily. All right, you'll thank her another day. Late at night, the moon hung high in the sky. Yi Xian, who was walking, stopped. He turned around and said, It's late. As a student, you should be resting in your room. Why are you following me, Dean? What are you trying to do? Yi Xing looked at Yi Xian, clearly a little afraid. Her hands clenched. She remained silent. Yi Xian turned and looked at her. Speak. You've been following me all day. What do you want? Yixing lowered her head and walked to Yi Xian. Brother, brother. Yi Xian shook his head. Call me Dean. Yixing lowered her head further, her body trembling slightly. Dean. Liner. I've been looking for him all day, but I can't find him. Yi Xian crossed his arms. You bullied him so much before, why are you looking for him now? Yixing gently tugged at Yi Xian's sleeve. Here, I'm a student and you're the dean. We're still family. Just focus on your training. He finished, and walked away. Yixing looked up at Yi Xian as he left. As she watched, tears welled up in her eyes. That brother and I are still family, is already good enough. In the Jiang country imperial palace, a middle-aged man arrived. On the throne, Jiang Yuan, the ruler of Jiang country, looked at the middle-aged man and said with a smile, Envoy, how is your ruler? The middle-aged man snorted. Thanks to your Jiang country, His Majesty is not doing well at all. The officials of Jiang country frowned and began to criticize the middle-aged man. What nonsense are you talking about? How is our ruler's health related to our country? I think you're here to provoke us. The middle-aged man ignored the surrounding accusations and continued, My ruler's illness is because of your Jiang country. A Jiang country minister immediately wanted to have him dragged out. But Jiang Yuan waved his hand. Stop. Let him speak. The middle-aged man continued haughtily, Our third prince was killed by Yi Xian, the dean of Yorkang Lan Academy, in the Ning country secret realm. We demand an explanation. Jiang Yuan's expression turned strange. An explanation? What explanation? The secret realm is a place of life and death. Since your prince knew that, why did he go? He went, got killed, and now you blame us. What kind of logic is that? The middle-aged man trembled with rage upon hearing this. So, your Jiang country is protecting him. Jiang Yuan's anger also flared. That's right. My Jiang country is protecting Yi Xian. What are you going to do about it? The middle-aged man glared at Jiang Yuan. For one, Yi Xian, is Jiang country willing to antagonize my Chu country, even to the point of war? Jiang Yuan's face darkened. My Jiang country has no intention of antagonizing Chu country. However, Yi Xian is a subject of my Jiang country. Anyone who touches him is provoking the might of Jiang country. The middle-aged man's face turned ugly. Clearly, Jiang country's open support for Yi Xian was unexpected. He sneered, Very well, Jiang country. Let's settle this with war. He then turned and left. The officials in the hall erupted in discussion. One official said, Is war a child's game? Doesn't your country have its own people? Does he not care about their lives? Another official worried, Zhao Tian is a tyrant. He doesn't care about the country or the people. If war breaks out, the people of Jiang country will suffer. Then, the Minister of Rights, Li Mu, addressed Jiang Yuan, Your Majesty, peace is paramount. The people's lives are precious. Jiang Yuan shook his head. I understand the importance of peace, but if there are no people, where is the country? Moreover, Yi Xian came to my country. And if I hand him over to Chu country, it would be a national humiliation. Seeing the ruler's anger, Li Mu, though afraid, still argued, Chu country and you country are allies, Your Majesty. The two countries have long coveted our land. This time, they will likely join forces against us. At this time, the marshal in armor, Lin Xiao, spoke. Let them come. If they want to fight, then let's fight. My Jiang country has never feared them. Li Mu shook his head. What if Ning country also joins them? Lin Xiao was taken aback. Li Mu continued, Our army can withstand the forces of Chu and Yu. But if they persuade Ning country, or if Ning country takes advantage of the chaos to attack, where should we concentrate our forces? Ning country is only one city away from us, and their cavalry is powerful. The other officials nodded in agreement. Indeed. If Ning country joins the war, our chances of victory are slim. Even if it's just Ning country alone, our army will struggle. Jiang Yuan now had a headache. All right, you'll send someone to Ning country for negotiations. Just then, a voice suddenly came from nearby, I'll go. Everyone looked and saw it was Yi Xian. He was accompanied by Lu Zhaoji. Yi Xian bowed slightly to Jiang Yuan. Your Majesty, let me go to Ning country. Jiang Yuan was worried. Ning country has always been at odds with Jiang country. I'm afraid for your safety. Yi Xian smiled. Your Majesty, rest assured. I can protect myself. Moreover, Ning country wouldn't dare to kill me openly. If they do, it would be a declaration of war. Jiang Yuan looked at Lu Zhao Ji for her opinion. Lu Zhao Ji nodded. He can handle it. Jiang Yuan thought for a moment and finally decreed, all right, Yi Xian, I appoint you as envoy to Ning country. You must succeed. Failure is not an option. If you fail, you will single-handedly face their army, as atonement. Yi Xian nodded. I obey. After leaving the palace, Yi Xian took the fastest cloud ship to Ning country. 2 days later, the cloud ship arrived in Ning country. Upon landing, Yi Xian disembarked and started looking for Lu Zhao Ji. Then, a thin old man caught his eye. Seeing Yi Xian, the old man hurried over and bowed. Greetings, National Teacher Yi. I have been waiting for you. Please, National Teacher Yi. Yi Xian shook his head, interrupting the old man, take me directly to the Ning country imperial palace. This is urgent. The old man didn't dare to say anything more and immediately nodded, leading Yi Xian towards the Ning country imperial palace. At the palace gates, Yi Xian and the thin old man waited for nearly half an hour, but no one came to receive them. Yi Xian felt something was wrong. He turned to the old man beside him. The old man was sweating profusely. I don't know why either. Yi Xian was silent for a moment, about to force his way in, when a woman's voice came from behind. Who is making such a ruckus here? Yi Xian turned around and broke out in a cold sweat when he saw the person standing before him was Tuo Bian. Yi Xian's face dripped with sweat. He stammered, why, is it you? Did you follow me here? How did you get in? Tuo Bian, though somewhat amused, maintained a regal air. I walked in, of course. What are you doing here? Don't tell me you were following me. The thin old man recognized Tuo Bian and tugged at Yi Xian's sleeve. National Teacher Yi, please don't say anything. Yi Xian, thinking the old man was afraid, reassured him, don't be afraid. We are here to see the Ning country ruler as envoys of Jiang country. No matter who she is, she can't do anything to us. Tuo Bian's eyes flashed with anger. She shouted, impudent. Simultaneously, she gathered her strength, preparing to attack Yi Xian. Seeing this, Yi Xian quickly backed away. Are you crazy? This is the Ning country imperial palace. He then also launched an attack. With a loud bang, their fists collided. The resulting shockwave pushed back the surrounding people. Ultimately, Yi Xian was no match. He stumbled back several steps. Yi Xian knew that although his strength had improved, he was still inferior to Tuo Bian. He needed to focus on the task at hand and not waste time fighting her. He made up his mind and grabbed the thin old man beside him. Take me directly to the ruler. The old man shook his head frantically. National Teacher Yi, you've got it wrong. Yi Xian was about to argue, wrong about what? When Tuo Bian suddenly spoke, you can go back. I will not attack Jiang country, nor will I ally with Chu country. Yi Xian was stunned. He finally understood. Tuo Bian was actually the ruler of Ning country. You're the ruler of Ning country. I just fought with the ruler of Ning country. This plot twist is too much, even a mother couldn't write this. Yi Xian wanted to say more, but Tuo Bian interrupted him. Don't say anything more. I'll just tell you, Ning country will not be involved in any wars, and certainly won't ally with Jiang country. Yi Xian nodded. I understand, thank you. Tuo Bian shook her head. Don't thank me. I'm not helping you, I'm thinking of my own country. The conflict between your two countries benefits no one. A warring king brings suffering to his people. I cannot allow such suffering to spread. She added, by the way, as of this morning, the combined forces of Chu and you have arrived at the Jiang country border. They even have Grand Yun and Dark Realm experts hidden among them. With Jiang country's current strength, you cannot defend against them. Yi Xian didn't understand Tuo Bian's meaning. Then, Your Majesty, do you have any suggestions? Tuo Bian continued, in this region, there's a mercenary group whose members are all of Tongyu realm or above. If you have the money, you can hire them to bolster your forces. After saying that, she turned and left, leaving only Yi Xian and the thin old man. Yi Xian, without hesitation, thought of the mercenary group whose members were all at Tongyu realm and above. At the Jiang country border, was Broken Blade Mountain. Yi Xian's figure reappeared at the foot of the mountain. Suddenly, he stopped. Ahead, there were many thatched huts. A man was bandaging someone's wounds. Yi Xian walked up and asked, "Is this the Broken Blade Mountain mercenary group?" The man continued his work as he replied, "Yes." Yi Xian didn't waste any words. He took out a black card and handed it to the man. The man took it and examined the black card carefully. He recognized it as the highest level card from the first bank. In other words, it was a symbol of status. The man was silent for a moment, then stopped his work and beckoned to Yi Xian. "Follow me." Yi Xian followed the man further into the mountain. The man led Yi Xian to a small waterfall where a woman was fetching water. The woman was about 20 years old, tall and attractive. The man bowed and said, "We have a customer." The woman put down the bucket and sat on a nearby rock. "What's the job?" Yi Xian replied, "Bodyguards," as he summoned the Ling Xiu sword, preparing to test their strength. He swung the sword at the woman, using the one sword decides life or death technique, enhanced with sword intent. The woman kicked the nearby water bucket. With a flick of her left hand, the water from the bucket rose and blocked Yi Xian's attack. Both Yi Xian and the woman increased their strength, creating a stalemate. Suddenly, the woman shouted and unleashed a powerful force that sent Yi Xian flying, even knocking the Ling Xiu sword from his hand. Yi Xian smiled, stood up, and dusted off his clothes. "Impressive skills. I want to hire your mercenary group for a month. What do you say?" The man, seeing Yi Xian's strength, drew his dual blades, preparing to attack Yi Xian, but the woman stopped him. She looked at Yi Xian and asked, "Who is the target?" Yi Xian replied, "Grand Yun Realm, Kangmu Academy." The woman's expression remained neutral. "Double the price." Yi Xian shook his head. 1.5, at most. Plus, he'll give you an Earth-grade weapon. How about that? Hearing Earth-grade weapon, the woman fell silent. After a while, she said, "Deal." With the woman's call, dozens of people emerged from the forest and gathered around her. Yi Xian looked at them, surprised to find that they were all experts above the Tongyu realm. The tall woman, seeing that everyone had arrived, asked Yi Xian, "Everyone's here. When do we leave?" Yi Xian waved his hand. "Wait a moment. I guess you guys rarely get a job, so I wonder if you need to prepare anything." The woman reached into her bosom, making Yi Xian's jaw drop. But she just pulled out a flatbread and started eating. Yi Xian was speechless. Why are women so? How come I'm so eager now? Finally, he drew a large circle on the ground. The Rat Kingdom is encroaching upon the Jiang Kingdom. This is a crisis, but also an opportunity. If you're willing, you can follow me and make a fortune. Bao, the tall woman, bit her pen and looked at Yi Xian. How? Yi Xian spread his hands. Robbery. Are we going to rob these countries' military bases and treasuries? Wen Yang and the other mercenaries exchanged glances. Robbing a country? Isn't that too dangerous? We've never done this before. Seeing their hesitation, Yi Xian said, "We all live on the edge. What's there to be afraid of? Well, split everything 50-50. If you dare, well, leave now." Bao's eyes lit up. "But from now on, you're in charge." Yi Xian readily agreed. "All right, we're going to the Tang Kingdom." Bao whistled. Soon, the small mountain village behind them stirred. Over a dozen black wolves, each larger than a cow, charged out. These wolves all had sharp fangs, and their fur gleamed. Each one seemed imposing and powerful. In the Jiang Kingdom, wild wolves were rare. Who were these people? Bao mounted a black wolf and looked at Yi Xian. "What about you?" Yi Xian scratched his head. "I don't have one. Can I have one?" Bao glanced at Yi Xian and whistled again. Another wolf rushed over and stopped in front of Yi Xian. Yi Xian didn't hesitate and jumped onto its back. Yi Xian spread his hands. To the Tang Kingdom. His wolf charged forward. Soon, the pack of wolves rushed down the mountain and disappeared into the wilderness. Tang Kingdom, Chuan City. Yi Xian and the others soon arrived. Chuan City was the Tang Kingdom's closest city to the Two-World City. It served as the logistics hub for the Tang army, and therefore, was heavily guarded. Bao, on her wolf, hid behind a tree, observed for a while, and then explained the situation to the others. Chuan City is heavily guarded. It's impossible to sneak in. If we start a fight here, the Tang army will immediately retaliate, and we'll all die. Yi Xian looked at Bao. "Do you know where their grain and medicine are stored?" Bao replied, "In the northern military camp within the city. It's also heavily guarded." Yi Xian nodded. "Good. Knowing its location is enough." Bao looked at Yi Xian. So, what's the plan? Yi Xian said, you'll create a diversion. You all charge into the military camp and take the grain and medicine. How? Bao spread her hands. What kind of diversion? Everyone on their wolves charged out. Yi Xian activated his zero shadow technique and instantly appeared above the Chuan city gates. With a loud crash, the city gates split in two. The Tang soldiers were alerted, and a large number of them surrounded Yi Xian. Seeing more and more soldiers, a faint smile appeared on Yi Xian's lips. Just what I wanted. In the next moment, he opened his eyes, activating his Eye of Jian. Two beams of sword light shot out from his eyes. In an instant, dozens of soldiers in front of him were obliterated. And nearly 100 more were severely injured. Yi Xian didn't stop. His sword flashed as he charged forward, leaving no survivors in his wake. At this time, Bao and the others took the opportunity to rush into the city. When the Tang soldiers tried to stop them, Ling Han and others from the Broken Blade mercenary group blocked their path. Bao rushed into a tent where dozens of iron chests and 3 golden chests were placed. She opened an iron chest. Inside were gold coins. Bao twisted the ring on her finger. In the next moment, all the chests disappeared. She turned and walked out of the tent. By now, they were surrounded by soldiers, and more soldiers were coming. Bao glanced at the soldiers. In the next moment, she charged towards them, creating a path with her long blade. The soldiers in her path were sent flying. Bao and the others mounted their wolves, preparing to go and support Yi Xian. Yi Xian was still battling a group of soldiers. Every time he cut down a soldier, another one immediately took its place. We can't break through. Suddenly, a female voice rang out. It was Bao. Bao and the others, riding their wolves, arrived. With their support, Yi Xian quickly broke free. Before leaving, he struck out with his sword, cutting a soldier in half. At the same time, he leaped onto Bao's wolf, sitting behind her. Just then, about 1,000 iron cavalry charged towards them. Seeing this, Yi Xian and the others' faces fell. Seeing the large number of cavalry, everyone was at a loss. Then, Yi Xian suddenly said, into the city, we'll go through the other side. Bao hesitated. That would lead us deeper into the Tang kingdom. It's not good for us. Yi Xian shook his head. We're surrounded. We have no other choice. Let's go. Bao understood the urgency and waved her hand. Go. She patted her wolf, which turned and ran towards the city. Behind her, everyone followed. As the cavalry were about to give chase, Pei Xiaohu, the commander of the Tang Kingdom's iron cavalry, stopped them. He glanced